Hey guys, I'm Leona, also known as Mrs. Worldwide, and today I am talking to Fowler.
Hey, what's going on? What's happening?
All right, so Fowler, great show today. Um,
Oh, thank you.
I had a little time so I could watch it, but I had an appointment right before on Daniels, and I was like, oh, we're cutting it close, we're cutting it close, but it worked out.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, it always works out. I'm pretty attentive to time too.
Oh yeah, I'm on top of it. I did want to mention, guys, I was supposed to be on Chris Cruz's live yesterday. The party got pushed back. I did apologize to Chris. I did try to go on, but I didn't realize he sent me the link like a few days ago. So the latest link he sent me was like a different link, and I was like, oh no. And then I clicked even in the chat, and I was like, Biz, where's the link? I was like, but you know. So I will have Chris on Thursday. So we will fix that up. He's probably mad at me. I hope not. I don't know.
Chris will
Chris
be
is a pretty
fine.
nice guy, though. He's probably not mad, right?
Yeah. Yeah, he'll probably shook it off.
I
He's a
don't
pro.
know.
Chris is
Okay,
a
so
pro.
let's get into it. Why the name Fowler? I always thought it was a gaming name. Is that a gaming name, or is that just a name you decided to pick?
No, it is. It's literally a it's portion of my name. Like it's portion of my name. It's a gamer name. It's literally like I use this forever. Like I've used this
Hmm.
name forever, but it's literally part of my name. So it's just not spelled the way you see it
Right,
on the
right, right.
screen. So it's stuck. It's really stuck for a long time. If I had to put a amount of time on it, I would say it's over about 20 25 years
Oh, sheesh.
years
That's
old.
like my email.
Yeah, so like as long as your email account has been active, as long as I've had this name,
Yeah.
like it's just something that's stuck. It's like you when you go place to place, and it's almost like what is it? Cheers, where everybody knows your name.
Oh, yeah.
Um,
So
yeah,
everybody
so
calls
like
you Fowler?
yeah, I mean, once you start playing with people, that's literally how they call you. In
Yeah.
gaming, nobody finds your first and last name and be like, like, hey,
Yeah, that would be
Bill.
weird.
Yeah, it'd be weird. Like, hey, Bill Guy, like,
Yeah.
and then you gotta remember you're playing with other people. Most of the time they don't know you. You gotta talk stuff because that's the competitive edge. So,
Right, right, right.
and a lot of stuff, like a lot of words get thrown back and forth. The last thing you want to know is like people like knowing, if you tap into, tap somebody's nerve, right? Like you don't know in this day and age how they blow up. Like, and that's the whole point of the being a little bit anonymous, right? Like for me,
Right.
for me, it's being on here. You can see my face. You know what I look like to the voice and stuff. That I have no problem doing. But you won't know my like first and last name to like because I move in such a way where I piss people off a lot. I piss people off a
Really?
lot. I'm pretty, yeah, maybe not on my lives, but like,
In real life?
eventually, yeah, like not even just real life. It's just people like I don't mix. Like, okay, so for example, I don't mix my crypto life and my regular life. I don't mix them. They are completely divulged from each other.
Okay.
Um, and the reason a lot of people do that, a lot of people, you'll see in projects and stuff, they're like, I don't want to show my face because my family and all this stuff like that. I have no problem showing my face because I really don't have nothing to hide. The thing is, you're not going to know my personal information. You're not going to know,
Yeah.
you know, where my kids are and all this stuff. I'm not going to give you the opportunity because
Yeah, you have to be
we're
careful.
working right. We work in a space where people put in a lot of money, and if you're the head of anything, or if you look like you're the head of anything, or if you're even promoting certain things, and it goes turn for the worse. A lot of people over leverage themselves. They put everything they have in some of these projects, and when they go belly up with it. And what
Mhm.
ends up happening is they go look for people to blame versus
Oh,
themselves.
yeah.
So what they're gonna do if your personal life is too much out there. So if you knew my name and stuff, and you could like put the name to the face, and you could like, oh well, we know exactly where he is in Chicago.
Yeah.
We know this guy. Now you got people looking for you, and
Yeah,
that
yeah.
what you don't want. That's when you start crossing the line because again, I have no problem showing my and everything. I won't do it. Allow to get to my like find your way. That's not going to be an opportunity. So I understand where some people like kind of keep their anonymity. Being anonymous in this
Anonymity.
space, like, is so
Yeah.
key to some people. Yeah, anonymity. Sorry, like I got my
No, it's
words are just
okay.
terrible. Uh, so you know, so when it comes to that name, it's really, yeah, I built that name. It's not like a name that I don't build upon. Like, it's not like a name I just pulled out the sky. So you guys are like, oh, this is some dude named Fowler, and he just disappears, and then the name disappears. No, you could probably
Yeah.
do a Google search on that name. You could probably find a decent amount if you look hard enough. But
Hmm.
you still won't come close to my personal life. And I've done that on purpose. A lot of people don't do that, but I have. And it's just like, and that's why I'm able to like show my face and feel okay with doing what I do, and showing my face, one, because I just literally don't have anything there.
Yeah. I wouldn't say I have things to hide, but I do need to be pretty private. When Daniel first came
Oh
out,
yeah,
he was all over the place showing all kinds of
telling
stuff. I
every
was like, oh my
you
gosh,
know
we got a license plate, we got the neighbors' houses, our house, we had all this stuff, and I'm like,
yeah,
oh my gosh.
he don't know the rules. He didn't know the rules of the road at first.
No. Well, he also he's in the news. So he's like,
Oh
well,
man.
their business is out there, like, whatever, it doesn't matter. I'm just reporting. But he forgot, like,
Mm-hmm.
you're not reporting on us. You're reporting on Vulcan and Seifu and stuff like that. It started out with Seifu. But that was pretty, like, first I was being like, there's like a spaz about it, I guess, kind of paranoid.
Mm-hmm.
And then my dreams or my nightmares came true when somebody started texting me and they thought it was Danny. So they're like, hey,
Mm.
Daniel, blah, 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 like sending paragraphs of text. And I was like, oh my gosh, I told you this is going to happen. I knew it. And I was like flipping out. And he had to go, like, delete a couple videos and, pop some
Oh
stuff in it.
yeah.
Even like close, because he likes to do stuff when he's driving too. So I was like,
Yeah.
even when you get too close to the house, like, don't, like, I have to have my pit bull maul somebody. And
Yeah. I mean, you gotta have some. You gotta have a. There's a point where you gotta just kind of be private. You have to
yeah,
be
you got to draw
private,
the line.
but there is a point where you should, if you're gonna, stamp your name on something, you know, you know, give it all the confidence you can. And one way you can give something a lot of confidence if you show your face behind it, right? Like, if you stand by it, then that shows confidence. I mean,
Yeah,
everybody shouldn't know everything about everybody. No one should be able
that's
to
what I said.
locate
Yeah,
you, me, next to the next person, right? It's just like the
right.
wallets. You shouldn't be able to know who's who. I mean, eventually that does happen, but even then it's okay, because at the end of the day, it's like your wallet isn't tattooed to you like your social security number. Your wallet, you can have one today, you can start another one tomorrow. It's not hard to, you know, disappear out here. People
Yeah,
do it all the time. But the whole thing is you definitely want to, keep yourself private as much as you possibly can.
yeah, I
So
totally agree. All right, let's look at the comments real quick. Let's see who's first. We got Teddy one first, Malafella Crypto second. I'm supposed to be on his next live, I think. And look who it is in third place. It's Daniel Prado worldwide. You should have been first, Dano. You should have been first. Anyway, that's what I call him. We got Jay Legend down there, Aaron Nash, Pietro Savastano, and of course the Greek, very supportive. I did notice you had you got the comments up on the bottom now. Made some
yeah.
changes. Yeah, I
Yeah,
like that.
so it's not really change. It's just I bounce between two different apps. I use Melon app, which is
And
the
Streamlabs,
competitor
right?
of StreamYard. Yeah, and Streamlabs is the more client based streaming app, and I'm able to do a lot more. That's why you see those transitions and stuff. I could do a lot more with it.
Right. But
And then
that's the
also,
thing that they lack.
yeah, that's what they lack. But everything is like so integrated into that app. Like my merch, the eventually once I get monetized, the super chats will once the
Yeah.
monetization comes, when people super chat, it'll come literally across the screen. Literally
Hmm.
come across screen, do all types of cool things. You have little gifts popping up and stuff,
Yeah,
all that
those are
stuff.
fun.
And that's fun. Everybody likes
Yeah.
to see fun.
Yeah.
Um, and it's just like, yeah, so it sucks sometimes I can't bring up chats, and something like today I did it because when I don't feel like I'm gonna be doing a lot of posting of things on the screen, I find myself to just want to be on Melon app because I can easily
Hmm.
discuss with people when people can actually see their comments on the screen versus me just kind of reading it off. And you might have saw this comment once upon a time come across the screen, versus me actually being able to control the conversation and being able to actually highlight the actual screen. I like it.
Yeah.
I do like it.
Yeah.
It just sucks I can't have it all in one. But
Right.
eventually I'm gonna get there. I'm gonna have it. I'm gonna
Yeah.
get it
Yeah.
eventually.
Listen, when Vulcan comes out, you're gonna have an EP. You're gonna have 10 screens. You're gonna be able to do whatever from wherever.
Oh yeah.
Um, oh, look
If
at this.
anything,
We got a B Ben from France. Have we seen him before in the comments?
I've never seen B Ben.
Hi, B Ben from France.
What's
All
going
right.
on?
He's chilling. Oh, your map's over there too, but he's in the south of France. So, all right, let's get into some personal questions, but not too personal. Are you
Okay.
single? Are you looking for a Mrs. Fowler?
I'm not looking for a Mrs. Fowler. I'm
All
talking to
right.
somebody, but like
Oh,
I'm not necessarily looking for Mrs. Fowler because, like, honestly, when it comes to titles and stuff like that, right now that's all a distraction to me. Right now,
yeah.
everything for me is in crypto land. Everything that I'm focused on is in crypto land. My projects, hell, my channel, my YouTube channel, all that stuff's integrated into pretty much my focus. Um, it's not I don't do I do my live not necessarily because I want to become some big time YouTuber. I chose to do this because I always had the plan of being a project developer. It was not always like um, I came into Seifu as an investor.
Right.
I had just left a previous attempt to try before I came to Seifu. I had a previous attempt to try to do my own project. Did it totally opposite the wrong way, and I should have. Didn't have no mentors. Didn't have. I thought I see. I'm a person that thinks he knows everything. So
Oh,
you
no,
know,
you are.
but not like the type that's going to constantly like in a conversation or like at a table or something like I'm going to be right. Like no, I'm not that type. What it
Okay.
is I'm more of a quiet person where you know the things that I see, if I feel like I can do, I'll do it, and then I'll come later and say, hey, look what I did, versus being
Right. I'm like
like
that. Yeah.
versus me being like, hey, I'm gonna do it, and then all the pressure is on me to do it. That's why, like, when I did my when I started doing the contracts and NFTs and stuff that I was talking about today, like, I didn't tell anybody I was doing it at first because it loads so much pressure on me.
Yeah. I think
I
it's
don't
for the
want to.
best.
Yeah, I don't load. I'm not gonna purposely low pressure stuff like not that. So what ends up happening is when I work at my own pace, I end up working fast anyway. It's just because I don't like the lollygag anyway. But if I start to be like kind of put things on a plate, kind of like in order and stuff, like I wouldn't say it's a plan, but more or less like almost like if your boss like if you had a boss and he was like, hey, we need you to do these TPS reports. I need these done by tomorrow. That's what that feels like to me when I say, hey, I'm gonna try to code something or I'm gonna try to NFT something. Now
Yeah.
I'll tell people in the background, like, hey, I'm planning on doing this. What you think? Da 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 da. I'll do
Gotta keep
that
your
type of
cards
stuff.
close, though. You know.
But I'm not gonna go into the public and be like, hey, I'm working on this. And
No,
then
no.
everybody I don't do that. So
Yeah. Yeah. You
yeah.
know what I do? I think that for me personally, I don't like to tell everybody everything when I'm doing stuff, but I do like to like if I'm gonna make because I bake and I do parties, right? So
Mm-hmm.
if I'm gonna make a theme for a party, my friends will be like, "Let's Pinterest," and I'm like, "Oh, I hate Pinterest because I think that's copying." And I want to do my own thing. So I will Google something and see if anyone's done it. And then I'm
Mm-hmm.
going to do that just because nobody's done it. And,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, because it's a bit of an ego thing, I know, but I'm
Mm-hmm.
okay with that. Like, but then also, I do like to tell certain people because that bit of pressure, like, I need a deadline for me to really beast out. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Like,
See,
if I'm just by myself, I'm like,
I
nobody
don't make a
knows.
I don't make a good cook because
Oh,
I have
no.
no patience. I have no patience for cooking whatsoever. Like I could cook, but
Well,
I can't. I'm not cooking for people. Like the reason why I don't
oh,
cook for
yeah.
people is because I got to worry about what you're gonna say, whatever. I don't care in the end. So whatever I'm feeding you, it'll be edible, but
Yeah.
I don't know if it's gonna be good or not. I don't know because I don't care what
It
your
sounds
taste
like
buds
dad
are.
life.
Like I just yeah, I just know what I like on my plate. You know, if my plate tastes good. I don't know about your plate. Don't care. It's not,
Oh my gosh,
you know.
no, I'm the opposite. Because first of all, I
Uh,
have like so many food allergies, but I
mm,
like to make food. Like all the food that I post, I don't I don't make it for the videos. Like I'm already making it and that's how it looks. It's pretty. I'm just like,
mm.
and I can't eat it anyway. Everyone's like, "Oh, I wonder it tastes so good." I'm like, "I have no idea, but it looks great." But it's
Wow.
not like I like pretty food and I like it to taste good, but I really don't know what it tastes like. So I make food for other people. That's my thing.
Okay.
All right,
Can't
let's
tell.
go over here. But yeah, if you
Oh,
guys ever come over,
mm-hmm.
it'll be good. Trust me, I'm not gonna make anything nasty. All right,
Oh,
so you're a gamer.
mm-hmm.
Have you always been into video games, or is this something that you started doing when you got older?
Man, oh my god. Where's the story? How much time we got? Like, jeez.
Give me
We
the
only at
condensed
16
version. The
minutes.
condensed version.
I only got tons of time. 16 minutes. We only 16 minutes in. We got tons of time for this story. No, I started really young. Like um, I'm not gonna say I've since the day I was born, I had a game control in my hand, but
Pretty
at
close.
least pretty close. I mean, if I was in kindergarten, I was at least playing Nintendo at some point, the first Nintendo. So,
Yeah. Oh my
I've been
gosh.
I've been playing games since ever, and it's really not changed. The biggest thing with me, and I like that you asked that question because this question, um, it's kind of relatable to a lot of. Once upon a time, it was boys, boys and men, um, because games wasn't, females weren't really playing games. Like,
No, not after we got out of being little kids. Like as little kids, we all played, but when you get to
yeah,
like 10, 12, it's like for girls, we're like we're out of there.
yeah. Yeah, and then on top of that, we're talking Mario, Super Mario Brothers, and stuff like that. That's the games weren't even as interactive as they are now. So you
No.
have a lot of females playing now because there's a lot more interactivity to it. It's a lot more community building, a lot more interaction with more human beings that you wouldn't interact with,
Human
in a day
beings.
in life. I say it like that. There's a reason why I say
Sounds
that like
funny, but
that.
I know
But
what you mean.
I break it down like that because a lot of people like to label people. Human beings is the easiest way for me to just be like everybody's including this because guess what? Whether you're in America, you're in Russia, you're in China, everybody's played video games at some point. And again, the way is the way the things have flowed. Yeah, boys and men were playing more than females and women, and I'm glad that's changed. And if you look, like if you can go to Twitch, you can go to any streaming platforms, and females are killing it. Why? Because guys like to watch females play games. I don't know why. I think it's
Guys like to
cool.
watch females do anything. That's
I
why.
I guess, but it's a thriving business, and it's crazy to me because you can sit there and I watch some females on Twitch, and they don't even look like they playing the game. The game looks like it's playing itself, and these guys just be drooling and tipping and typing. That's all. Nobody's even
Yeah.
watching the game.
Yeah.
Nobody's watching the gameplay. So, but here, getting back to the point is, I've been doing this. I've been playing games since a shorty. I've been I'm a computer technician by trade. I've always been in tech. When it wasn't, if I'm not gaming, I'm on a computer doing something, and this is how it's always been. My tech skills come literally from what I do. I've been again. I was taking computer art when I was like 10 years old. Okay, like taking them apart, putting them back
Yeah.
together. And we're talking at 10 years old. I had no, of course, no technical, aptitude or anything like that. No knowledge. It wasn't like there was
Yeah,
a.
my mom used to pick up computers like from the rich neighborhoods because I grew up poor. But she used to pick them up and bring them home, and then I would somehow like mess around with them, do all this stuff, and then get them
Mm,
to work. It was crazy. I couldn't tell
yeah,
you like what I did then.
yeah, but see, that's the thing. See, computers have gotten so they're a little bit advanced now, but at one
Oh
point in
yeah,
time, they were pretty straightforward. Where if you had the go ahead to feel like you could try to make something work, even though you had no clue, it was just
yeah,
that it was that hands at you could probably just use your hands. If you play around with it enough, you can get it working. That's kind
yeah.
of where I started, and a lot of things stemmed from me being curious about tech. and doing it at a young age because when I was growing up, and every news had like a computer class and stuff like that. For me, it was in my demographic area and everything where I was brought up and stuff. This stuff wasn't very abundant. It wasn't like the education wasn't that high as far as like who's teaching. So when I was getting in computer classes, it was always the computer tech that they have in a class is always like 5 to 6 years out of date, or
Yeah.
even maybe a decade. When I was maybe for example, when I was in like fifth, sixth grade, when I was going to computer class, they still had Apple IIs in the computer class. Apple IIs. We're talking about the stuff where the floppy disk was thin, super thin, and you were pretty much the only game that was fun on there was like Oregon Trail. So,
Oh my
you
gosh,
know,
that was so
yeah,
long ago. Yeah.
yeah, that was forever ago, right? But
Yeah.
imagine learning computers at that time, right? When there's Windows 98 out, there's Windows 98 computers out that's able to
But there
play
still was Windows
all.
95 though in those 98
Yeah,
computers.
yeah, and you can still. But the point is that at least that tech was up to date considerably compared to Apple II. Like, what am I going to do with Apple II? No one's using Apple II anymore. Why are we learning on Apple II? And that's what
Because it
I had
was
to deal with.
cheaper.
It
Yeah.
was cheaper, or they just couldn't afford it. Schools couldn't afford this stuff. So it's
Yeah.
like,
Yeah.
how am I going to get ahead? Like, how am I going to get ahead? It was always like, man, I'm ahead of the computer teacher. Like,
Hmm.
the computer teacher is teaching out of a curriculum with tech that's old. I had a better computer at my house. Like if that was the case, like, look, I don't even need to be here. I need to be at home, right? I need to be at home
Oh,
learning
I
this
feel you
computer,
100% on that one. I definitely wanted to be home.
right?
I
And you
hated
got to
school.
remember, man, like, the internet wasn't like super developed in 98, 97, 96, 95. When
No.
everybody was dialing up to AOL, America Online and stuff, that internet that internet wasn't that great. You couldn't just go to Google and be like, "Hey,
No, do you remember
right,
Ask Jeeves?
yeah, you got to have stuff like Ask Jeeves to ask questions.
Yeah.
You couldn't ask Google a question. It wasn't even built like that.
No,
It was
Google
now you
came, I
can.
think, the end of high school for me. But it wasn't
I
Google
mean,
yet, it was Hotmail.
Google was there. Yeah, I mean, Google was kind of like that. This is what you build. Like, you absorb Ask Jeeves, and now you can ask Google questions. Like, but before it was Ask Jeeves, and Jeeves would give you some generic, stuff and
Oh my
maybe some
gosh,
websites.
yeah.
That stuff
Jeeves
again,
is
that stuff
crazy.
back then, you couldn't learn like you can learn it. YouTube wasn't around. You couldn't
Oh my
just
gosh,
like,
no.
oh yeah,
You had to figure it
let
out
me find out how
yourself.
to do anything.
No,
Yeah,
you had
you
to
had to
find
do
somebody
everything.
that you knew who
That
did
was
it.
Yeah. If you needed to learn, if you want your oil change, you couldn't learn on YouTube. You had to go to an actual auto mechanic and get your oil changed. Now you can go on YouTube and be like, hey, I want to change my oil to my 96 Corolla, right?
Oh
Like,
my gosh, you
okay,
got
well, you need
pictures,
to go.
video, everything.
Yeah.
I
Everything
love
that
it.
you need to buy is going to cost you like $30. The
Yeah.
dudes on the video is going to tell you it's cost $30. Boom. Now you can change your oil. Now all you got to do is pay attention. Like, if you had the skills to make it in Simon Says, you should be able to follow YouTube. Like,
But you
that's
can
how
also
simple it is.
rewind it. Because
And
for
you can
people like
rewind it.
me,
It's
yeah, I miss
foolproof.
that junk because I don't pay attention. And yes,
It's,
I can rewind it like 3 or 4 times. You hit that tap two
yeah.
times, 10 seconds back. I
Yeah.
love
10,
it.
10 seconds back, you're good. You're like, I got it. I don't know how many times I've changed oil because I've literally went on YouTube and be like, hey, how do I change this oil in my car? And then boom, I can change the oil. What have I done at that point? I have saved myself at least 50, $60 because the auto mechanic is going to charge you arm and leg. You go to Jiffy Lube or something, you'd be lucky if they put the oil in. So now
It's
you,
like
you know,
almost $100 now just for the oil change. I wish
right. So
somebody would change mine.
technically, you can become a low grade style of auto mechanic using YouTube. Like, I'm
Yeah, you
dead
could.
ass
You
serious.
could. You could.
I've changed so many things on a car using YouTube and just listening to people. It's a risk. Yes, it's a risk. You could
Some stuff.
you could take some stuff off and never get back on your car, and then
Yeah,
now you're tow trucking it to an auto mechanic. You could do that,
for
but
sure.
for the most part, though, the innovation of the internet over time has basically grown people in general, and there's more people like me who I feel like me personally. I feel like an anomaly because again, where I've grown up and the systems I have to go through because of my environment, it doesn't for right now, you can't even go to school to learn crypto. We all know this, right? Like you can't go in school. They don't even teach most kids about finances, let alone they're going to
I
teach you
know.
about crypto, right?
Yeah, they
So
could.
it's not like you can go to school and learn this stuff. So, I was already a person that is self-efficient and is going to pick up things on his own. And that's pretty much how I've been going. I've been doing it for years. It's never failed me wrong. I've ran my own business, my own technician business, to the point where now you just like I'm here. Like I don't even do it anymore. People call me, they're like, hey, I need help. Like
Yeah.
my business need help. My service is there. Like,
Do you want to say
I'm
the name of
busy.
your business?
No, I'm not doing. No, we're not gonna do that. But
Okay.
oh, we're not gonna do that. We're
Okay.
not gonna do that. But what we will do, just know that I've evolved from being a technician to where you see me now
Right,
as
right.
Fowler. Okay, because guess what?
Gotcha.
The business ain't called Fowler. So
I would hope not. That'd be a little weird. I don't think I would see that in the whatever you look up on Google. I'd be like, I don't know. That sounds like a gaming name.
yeah, yeah. So it's but for me, all in all, like everything I've gone through to get to this point right now has been awesome. Like I haven't nowhere do I regret anything because guess what? Everything this has pushed me to this point. Um I feel like the edge of something great. Is just, it's other things that needs to happen that I'm waiting for. Of course, we all wait for like Vulcan, right? We all wait for Vulcan blockchain, stuff like that. So there's things that's kind of like, I'm waiting for, but it's okay because at the same time, where we're waiting for these things, I'm gaining more knowledge, I'm gaining more experience, I'm doing some things that are
Right.
really gonna really aid me going forward when Vulcan launches. So for me, I'm I'm happy. I love these
Yeah.
things. I love how where everything's going. So
I think most of the YouTubers are gaining a lot more experience and knowledge with everything they're doing. So I have to mention this. Are you drinking anything today?
no,
I know you're
not today. I'm
not
not really.
always a sipper. You're a bit of a
I'm not
puffer.
a yeah. Yeah, I'm definitely a puffer. I'm not too much of a drinker. Like I used to be a drinker in my younger days. It's now I've kind of slowed down because honestly, I puff because I feel like I have to slow myself down because like
Oh,
I think all the time. Like I think I'm moving. I'm always trying to do something. I'm always using
yeah.
brain power. So it's like sometimes I need to slow down because if I don't slow down, I get like a migraine or something. So
No, I hear you. I feel the same way, but I can't smoke because I
no,
have asthma.
you're missing out.
And I learned I'm allergic. Don't rub it in.
They
But I
got
also
edibles.
learned that I'm
You still eat
allergic.
stuff.
No, I learned that I'm
Oh,
allergic to the plant. So I've
oh
tried the
man.
oil and like yeah, it's I can't even like be around it. Like my voice starts going away and like I get hoarse and then my throat starts to close. So that's not a good look.
Oh, oh man. Poor you.
Yeah.
Poor
Well,
you. I
hey,
was.
I mean, I make it look good though. But a lot of my friends do smoke. They just have to. I got to wear a mask. They got to walk away. But this is my drink. I don't drink. I'm not drinking liquor. This is my signature drink. It's cranberry and seltzer. It's great. It's refreshing. I call it a spritzer.
Okay.
I love it.
That's what's up. That's what's up. Non-alcoholic drink.
Yeah, you don't always have to. You don't got to sauce it up all the time. You know what I mean? All right. So listen.
Yeah.
Have you ever made any money off of gaming? That's what everybody wants to know. And by everybody, I mean me.
Oh, tons. Tons.
Oh, that's great.
Oh man, how should I go through this? So my 20s, my a lot of my 20s, I would say my half of my 20s, I was doing a lot of tournaments. I was doing a lot of fighting tournaments. I was doing stuff like Street Fighter, Marvel vs. Capcom, a lot of Mortal Kombat, a lot of fighting games, a lot Tekken, stuff like that. A lot of fighting games, a lot of where you got to be quick, you got to have really good reflexes and stuff like that. I was doing that a lot in my younger days, and what I would do in my early adult days, I would go and travel to these tournaments, and some of these and Madden too, like Madden, Madden, right? Football. Like I would go to these tournaments, and some of these prize pools anywhere from $500 to $5,000. So of
That's
course,
crazy.
if you're driving an hour, 2 hours, 3 hours for a tournament, it makes it worth it, because especially if you feel like you can play. I mean, when you go to these tournaments, a lot of people think that all the pros are gonna be there, like the people who just dedicate their lives to game every single day, every single second. They're gonna be at all these tournaments, and they don't. They do not. And I found myself learning that I learned that. Like I learned that all that top tier competition, I thought that was going to be at a lot of these tournaments. No, they don't. But a lot of these tournaments, they'll throw out a lot of money because they want a lot of people to show up.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes that doesn't. Sometimes that doesn't pan out that way.
Yeah.
And I will find myself going to a lot of tournaments and just dominating people. So a
So
lot
you're like
of
a shark? You're like a gaming shark?
if you want to call it shark, like I'm just hunting down tournaments. Yeah,
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
I mean, it's good money. Like it was good money, and
I'm
it
not
wasn't
hating.
like really, it's not really like an exposure type of thing. Like, was I trying to gain for notoriety and stuff? It was to win tournaments. If you gain a name, then that's one thing. If you don't, and I didn't really go to a lot of big stuff. I always felt like if I just go to the little stuff, I will always make out, and that's exactly what happened. I would make out at a
Nice.
lot of these smaller tournaments because people just wouldn't necessarily show up. The top tier competition would never show up. So it was kind of like, well, you know, if I don't have to try as hard, like a lot of these guys are people that you play online and beat up anyway. And so it's like, like so, and that's what
Yeah.
I got a lot of, um at that time, until it got boring. It got kind of a little boring after a while because, for whatever reason, when the games start drying up, when newer games don't come out and stuff like that, it does hurt that trail unless you like doing Street Fighter everywhere you go. But the problem is, again,
It gets
you
boring.
can get away with a couple small tournaments, but sometimes you're gonna run into dudes and they're gonna make you wish that you never made that trip.
Oh
And
no.
that
That always
happens.
happens. There's always somebody bigger and badder in
Oh, there's
every.
always somebody. It's always big and bad. You just gotta hope they ain't there. So
Yeah.
like, you just gotta hope they ain't there. But when you see them though, when you know they're there, it only makes you better because you going in there. It's like almost like you would think like a boxer, right? Like a boxer at a heavyweight fight. Like only one person can win. Only one
Right.
person can win between the two. But both of those fighters are coming out there to fight. They're not coming out there. One's not coming out there just to get his head knocked off unless it's set up that way.
Oh yeah, I
But
don't like
like
that.
nobody's gonna come out there. Yeah, nobody's gonna come out there like take my head off real quick so I can just take this pay. No, everybody should want to be the heavyweight champion. So that's
Yeah.
that's that's the that's the motivation to it all. But yeah, that's making money. There's a lot of money to be made in gaming, and
Yeah.
as far as competitive gaming, but see, there's a thing, and I'm glad you brought up. Can you make money in games? But like tournaments is like it's a very small niche. It's very small,
Hmm.
and the reason why it's small is because again, you have to be so well, and then on top of that, you have to want to travel. You have to want to go to these tournaments. Versus, you could do it online too. Tournaments can go online too, but like again, there's that competitive aspect. That's why I believe blockchain games will play to earn is going to be the future when it comes to earning, like getting money and stuff, because you can make so
Yeah.
much more utilizing NFTs and stuff. Like when this stuff really starts catching on, right now it's not caught on as where it should. It's not caught on like that. But when it comes to the point where cryptos becomes a bigger thing, NFTs become a bigger thing, like gamers are going to be in here and they're going to be trying to find ways to obtain NFTs in certain games. They're not going to go to every single game trying to collect NFTs, but they will eventually. There will be games, and I mean blockbuster games will come out on blockchain, and it will be different. It will be a different type of game for different, a different type of gamer, and eventually
Hmm.
more gamers will come of that because more gamers will come from that traditional way of gaming and grow to understand blockchain. And when they
Right.
understand the potential power of earning in a game versus like, and this is what I was saying, for me, it's cool to grow up all through my years with gaming. But if I was able to earn all the way from the beginning, I might be a millionaire right now. If the
Yeah, I bet.
systems are the way for blockchain, if that was around when I was a shorty, I would have probably made a lot because um, blockchain gaming will get better and it will evolve, just like every single game since the 80s has evolved to where we
Mhm.
at now with modern day gaming. It will get better. It will get smoother, seamless, and it will be more integrated into everyday life. It's just when we don't know, but guess what? That's why it's imperative that we with this Vulcan blockchain is that these games and stuff that we put on to the blockchain at the beginning is key because it all builds upon later on. So like just like BSC, the BSC started off with a few projects and they eventually grew over time. It's the same deal. Now where you want it to grow, that's up to you. If you want it to be more rug pulls and stuff like that, then that's how you manipulate the community like that. If the community doesn't police itself for those things, right?
Mhm.
Because it's the government's not going to do it for you, right? So
Well,
it
they're
is the
trying to do
community.
something.
They're trying, but it's the community. The community has to actually police itself, or at least make an attempt. And I
Right.
think we do. I think we do a pretty decent job. It needs to be a little bit better though, but I guess it will
Yeah.
grow over time.
Yeah, that definitely comes with time. So let's switch the subject a little bit here. You're always sitting down, as are the
Mm-hmm.
YouTubers. So I was pretty shocked when you said this. I couldn't believe it, to be honest. But how tall are you?
I am 6'2",
Who knew?
and yeah, I mean, I'm I'm taller than Greek, so
Yeah.
yeah, I'm taller than
Like,
Greek. Greek's
Greek
like
was
six.
huge when we saw him. I didn't expect it, but I mean, nothing compared to Brian Legend. But I
Yeah,
mean, who knew?
right there. We're like right there. I'm probably a little,
Yeah, a few inches.
these
You're
might
like
be like
five
6'1"
inches.
or something. Yeah,
Yeah, maybe
he's
Greek. Yeah.
but Greek is tall. Greek is tall.
Yeah, because we saw him in Dubai, because Danny's only 5'7". So the
Hmm.
two of them, like he was like towering over him, and I was like, oh wow! But you can't tell when people are sitting down.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
yeah, I bet you that's a nice selling point for when you are looking around, not looking for Mrs. Fowler. Remember?
yeah. Hopefully, the day I do settle down and stuff, and that day comes. But
Yeah,
I
you'll
don't
be able to
foresee
use
it.
that height to your advantage.
Yeah, hopefully. I mean, if I ain't 60 and lost a couple of inches,
No way.
you
I
know
don't
how
think
you get
I don't
older,
think I'm gonna
you get
shrink.
shorter. You don't know? You don't
No,
think so? I thought that was like normal.
everybody everybody doesn't shrink. There's like things you can do, keep your nutrients up. And I am the only girl I know who grew after I turned 19. So that's a big deal.
Hmm.
I'm still only 5'1", but at least I'm not 4'11" anymore.
Yeah, there's a big difference between 4'11" and 5'1". Let me tell you. I
Yeah.
think they will let you
Yeah.
go on roller coaster rides at 4'11", huh?
Yeah, I can go on anything.
Yeah, see? Man,
It was
that's
tough. It
rough.
was tough. I had to learn to tippy toe in my sneakers. Or I used to wear like when I was like around 17, 18, they had these thick sneakers, like candies sneakers, and it was before Skechers was really that big. And I used to
Oh, the
wear all
super
of them.
huge soles?
Yeah, because I was tiny. I needed some help. All right,
You need
so
that boost.
yeah, I needed it. What do you do for fun besides gaming?
Oh man. So right now, nothing. Like I go out and stuff. I like to have some drinks and stuff like that, but that's not like something right now. Like when I say I'm focused, I am
Yeah,
focused. Like people don't believe this when I tell them. Like when I say I'm focused, like I am literally sun up, sun down. This is what I'm doing. And even when people would be like, "Man, you don't take a break?" Nope. Because guess what? I can take a break when I'm done. Okay, like
yeah,
so when I'm done, I can take all the break that I want. But right now,
yeah,
it's about making sure I utilize my skills, and evidently my skills keep growing. But utilizing my skills that's going to benefit me in the future. So right now, I feel like everything that I'm doing right now is setting myself up for the future versus trying to, always trying to keep up. Like a lot of people like try to keep up, right? Like people do things because they feel like it's you know, things are getting ahead of them, or they want to catch the next fad or whatever. Like they always chasing something. Like I don't feel like I'm chasing anything. I always feel like I'm building something. Like I'm building something that I have not necessarily even remotely seen to its potential, right? Like this is literally the beginning. And if it's big to me now, then it can only be that much bigger in the future. It's just
Yeah.
really making sure you stand behind it. And that's one thing I do. Like most people who deal with me, they'll let you know if I say I'm gonna do something, most of the time I'm gonna do it.
No, I hear you. So, what about your role models? Have any?
Role models?
Mm-hmm.
Hmm. Prado is probably one of he has this charisma about him. Like only what I have. Like he has like this his charisma since I've seen him when I first watched him in Seifu. He's always had this charisma. I was like, man, if I only had that type of charisma, I could just do crazy amounts of things. I'll be a wild guy. He just seems like the type of guy that's just always gonna talk. He can talk to you no matter what the situation is, and he's gonna probably try to make you laugh. So like, and that's how I get proud. Like his charisma is always there. Like he's
Yeah.
on 100 all the time. Like and like on camera. Like for me, I'm not gonna say I'm not 100. I'm 100% all the time, 150% all the time, but it's not always 150% on camera. I can't guarantee that. But when
Oh yeah.
Prado gets on camera, I can tell he's on 100 every time.
Yeah.
So that's one thing I look and I'll be like, man, if I could have one thing I could take from any other YouTubers, I would take Prado's charisma. I'll take,
Yeah.
I'll take that charisma.
Oh, that's good. I think that's good about him too, because he is really motivating. I think that you have the same energy. Usually, you do get a little excited, which is good. I think it's funny because you and who was it, Curtheus? You guys used to get like tickled online. It would look like somebody was tickling you. Guys giggle, and it cracks me up. Like I don't even care what you're
Yeah,
laughing
man.
about. That's just funny.
Yeah, man. My boy Curtis, he just disappeared. He came back. It's all good. You know what I'm saying? He probably got something going on, whatever.
Yeah,
But he's
yeah,
always welcome to come back. You know what I'm saying? But like, yeah. It's kind of weird because that was the one person. Like, I was like, I had like connection. Like, Curtis was real
yeah,
cool. Like, it was like
yeah,
really cool because we used to feed off each other, and that's what we was trying
yeah.
to do. We was doing the show for a minute, like, and then he disappeared off. It's like, God damn, dude.
I know.
Like,
Now you're out here solo, but now you got like 985 subscribers. You're almost there, hitting your goal, about to be monetized. Might not happen that fast with Curtheus.
yeah, you know
It's
what,
good. It's
man?
good.
But the thing is, I'm always like my boy Curtis can always, and whenever he comes back, man, like I'll just like I do any other YouTubers, that if I'm on with or whatever, or have a relationship with, like, hey, I'll put you out there, like, hey, go holler at my boy, Woo Wop, or go holler at Miss Worldwide, go to the channel. I'll tell everybody go to the channel and make sure you subscribe and stuff. So like, because at the end of the day, it's a community, it's a family, and we don't go nowhere. Like, none of this works if we all are not working together. Like, it really it doesn't, right?
Yeah,
We could all be separate, complaining about things if we wanted to, but like when you sit there and complain about things, everybody else is looking at you complain. So why would anybody want to be a part of something that you're already complaining about?
exactly.
So yeah, do I have things that I want to complain about in the Vulcan community? There's a lot of things that do rub me the wrong way. Do I put it
Yeah,
on YouTube every single? No, I don't. Like a lot of people, if you talk to the same people we talk to, and if I talk to them in DMs, they'll be like, "Well, Fowler had a problem with this, Fowler had a problem with that." But when I go on the live, you do not see me do that. And a lot of people want to, a lot of people will say that, "Oh, you're like a Vulcan Maxi, or you're a safe food, or you're a Brian Legend groupie or something like,
yeah,
something like
like
that." And it's not about that. I think when people understand that, there's a bigger goal for all of us out here that we want, that's the whole reason why we're here, right? We all want a moon. We all want to go to the moon. We all want to go to the moon. However we get there, whether it's slow or fast, we all want to get to the moon, right? And the thing is, none of us are going to get to the moon if nobody else outside of our community is going to believe that we're going to get to the moon. And whether if you want to say you're embellishing a little bit, yeah, sometimes we do embellish because at the same time we're investing in the same project. This is our product. At the same time, we're invested in the same product that Brian Legend is investing into, the Vulcan team is investing into, everybody else is invested to. So everybody that's in the chat, they're investing in the same thing. So, that's why I always say it behooves everyone to actually get out there and shill and be a community and go out there and share, because at the same time, this is your baby as well as much as my baby, right?
Yeah, for sure.
Whether I own 1% of this baby or I own 0.001% of this baby, I still have a percentage in this baby. So I have to raise this baby just like everybody else. Yeah, I mean, yeah, some people got more cut. Does that mean I have to take more responsibility? No, you don't have to, but you would want to, because at the end of the day, your work ethic is going to put, you going forward in your work ethic is going to eventually show out some type of outcome. And everybody does that. I mean, and people give Brian shit all the time, but at the end of the day, is he not making this stuff move? Right?
Yeah.
Is he not making this stuff move? Like,
Exactly.
if he didn't care, we would have been where we at back in last June. We'd still be in
Right.
Safe Food, wondering about Safe Food X. But no, we're here, Vulcan, right? We're Vulcan. We got all this other stuff that includes Safe Food Go. We can go on and on about all the greatest things about Vulcan. But
Yeah.
guess what? We don't get here if Brian Legend doesn't actually try to make these things happen. So
Yeah,
all
exactly.
the futters and stuff, that stuff can kick to the wayside. I don't care what proof you got or whatever you try to show me. None of that stuff actually matters to me, because at the end of the day, if the things that I'm requiring to see, like the Vulcan blockchain and stuff like that, that stuff pops up, all the other stuff I don't care about. If
Yeah.
anything, I don't know if you made the stuff up. Look, like AI can change everything, man. You could give a PNG file to AI, and they're like, "Hey, make this guy look dirty." And I'm like, "Oh yeah, we'll move this transaction here. He had this transaction here." But yeah, but at the same time, it's all doctored. Like, and then
Yeah.
I don't know, man. I don't get the futters. I don't, it's weird. A lot of these futters actually make money off of Brian Legend.
Yeah.
Yeah, they
Yeah.
do.
Some people are just
They ain't gonna
grinding,
say it. Yeah, they're not gonna say that. They're not gonna tell people that, but that's what happens.
Yeah.
People come join to their side all the time, these futters and stuff. They come to these futter groups and stuff. They be like, "Oh yeah, I'm fudding against Brian Legend too." But the same people you join the FUD with, they already made money with Brian Legend through his
Yeah.
project. They're just mad because they can't get in the same way that they got out.
But
That's it.
sometimes that's their goal, to FUD and for people to, like, get rid of their bag, and then they end up buying more, which I find to be crazy, but it is what it is. So let's
Well, I'm a
take a little.
DJ. Like I said, I'm a DJ. I don't all this FUD stuff that they do, that don't matter to me. I'm a DJ.
Yeah.
I bet on 30x scams all the time. Like, what are you telling me about? Like, whatever you tell me about Brian Legend, I don't care. I just literally
Right.
just put $200 in the latest Peppy PP coin, PP pad coin, like, and then I just saw that go down to the ground. So what are you telling me about? If anything, you should be going to find these rug pulling meme coins and figure out who's running those, but you can't. So it's just like, no, we're gonna go for the guy who actually puts his face out there and actually
Yeah.
he wants to help people. Like, ooh, let's get this guy.
Yeah, that's what did it for me with when Daniel was talking about Brian Legend and different things. When he said he was taking him to England, I was like, all right, this guy can't be that much of a scam if he's going to take you out of the country and all that stuff. And he met him then. And then, I ended up meeting him in Dubai, and he's like a really great, genuine guy. Like, you might not like his marketing and, like, all the stuff he says, but, like, who cares? Because he's getting it done. At the end of the day, he's getting it done. So
Yeah, I
suck it
mean,
up and make
if
the
I
money.
if I
Stop
came
crying.
up if I came up with millions, I would probably do some of the same stuff Brian Legend do too. Like, I would probably wear like glittering shoes on a stage talking about my project. I probably would. Like, I probably would go
Yeah.
out there flashing. I would have a chain and stuff because look, I can, right? I did
Yeah,
everything I had to
exactly.
do. If
What's
I
it
told you,
for?
right? If I told you everywhere, if I told you from where I came, and then how I made out to become this, and then I get all these rewards for becoming what putting all my focus and hard work in. I
Yeah.
should be able to go and do whatever the hell I want to
Yeah.
do, how I
Flex how
feel.
you want. Yeah.
Yeah. Like, you know what? At the end of the day, if Fowler was dressed up from head to toe in Armani and whatever, it don't matter. You pick your designer. If I was dressed from head to toe like an NFT, you could just switch up stuff, right? It don't matter.
Yeah.
It at the end of the day, it does not matter because at the end of the day, does Fowler put together a project? Does Fowler, his project stay afloat?
Yeah.
Is people money secure? Is it safe? As long as those things are happening, people aren't, seeing some rug pull and stuff. What does it matter how I dress? Like,
Yeah.
what does
There's
it
people
matter what I
always
spend my money
focusing
on?
on the wrong stuff. You
Yeah,
know.
because you know what it is? Because when they don't have access to the money that they probably sacrifice, and then they see Brian like buying stuff, they were like, "Oh, he's using our money." like, no, man.
He
Like, you
was
can't think
already
of
like dripped out before
you
he
can't
even made this
you
up.
can't
So
think about it. That's like I can see if I didn't see Brian before, so like maybe that's a change. Maybe people saw him go from like a regular, button up shirt and corduroys to
no
big.
corduroys.
Oh, I don't know. I'm just throwing stuff out there. These Gucci and stuff. Maybe that just people just jealous. Like, man, how you go from corduroys to Gucci belts and all this stuff? So I'm like, I
Not
get it.
corduroys.
I get it, but that's more like a hating. Like that's almost like you're hating
Yeah.
on him, not
But he
necessarily.
didn't go from rags to riches. Not in this era anyway. Maybe when he was
Right.
younger. But
That's what I'm saying. But
yeah.
if it was somebody, that's what I'm saying. If it was somebody who was wearing corduroys at first, and then like 2-3 months after a sacrifice, he was in Gucci, that's a big difference. That's a big difference. But if he was already like, hey, I'm already rich, I'm trying to do these things, and this and that, I'm putting money behind this and that. I've been in this project, been in this project, been in this project. And then all of a sudden he just like, things are going well for me. I'm gonna just start wearing Gucci because I feel like I want to wear Gucci. Who's stopping
Yeah.
them? Why?
Yeah.
Why should that be a problem? If I came up, if I did what I did, and things are going well for me, and I come newest millionaire, and I got a chance to buy a yacht, and I choose to buy a yacht, and you tell me everybody's gonna start hating on me because I went and bought a yacht with what I came out with, like that sucks. So what are you trying to say? Are you trying to say that developers and owners and stuff, they should just be like,
Basic.
they should be basic. Like, I just don't understand. You
Yeah.
have to be
Somebody
flash.
can.
You have to flash somewhat. You have to, like, in this space, you have to, if you're trying to accomplish anything where you're trying to get like the traditional space to the crypto space, and you're trying to merge them somehow, you're trying to get more people to find a way to adopt something, you have to be polarizing. You have to find a way to be polarizing, right? Like, it's one thing, to have charisma and everything else and come on lives and everything, and be a great guy and stuff like that. But then you have to go out there and you have to find a way to catch people's eyes. They're gonna be like, who is that guy? Who's this guy with these pink shiny shoes on this
Oh
stage?
gosh.
What is he talking about? Seifu X. What is that? Oh, he's gonna give me some crazy amount of interest on this project, this crypto project. What does he got to talk about? Now he's on the stage for what, 15-30 minutes, and everybody's paying attention to him because he's walking back and forward with these glittering shoes, and you're like, man, those some badass shoes, and you're not even listening to what the hell he's saying. Bro,
Yeah.
it's his shame. That's the
It's
only.
probably more marketing with him too, to be honest.
Yeah, yeah. It's a way to capture eyes. Right? Sometimes it's a
Yeah.
little bit too much, because I remember that Seifu X thing he did in Bangkok. I was like, man,
It
those
was a
some
lot.
badass shoes. And all I could do is watch his shoes go back and forth. Like, I'm like,
You couldn't hear what he was saying.
man, shit he said. I had to watch it like 4 or 5 times to eventually get it. But I was like, I
Yeah.
mean,
That's what
I already
YouTube does
got it.
for you, though.
I
Yeah.
already got it, but it was just like, it was the shoes kind of like took the attention. So I'll be hoping, I'm like,
Yeah. I
man,
hear
I
you.
hope somebody really knew that's trying to listen to you. Is they gonna get locked in on the shoes like I am and not actually understand what the hell you saying? That's the only thing I
Yeah.
think you running a problem into with that. Maybe that's why he had to tone it down and stuff. But
Yeah.
I
You gotta switch up.
never had a problem with it though. I never had a problem with the way he was. I was like, man, that's kind of fly. I was
Yeah.
actually like, man, that's kind of fly. I was like, man, where you get those shoes from?
All right.
Like,
Well, speaking of polarizing, Superman or Batman?
Superman or Batman? Why you gotta be
Mhm.
DC? It's gotta be DC. Superman,
Gotta be.
Batman.
Superman or Batman?
Okay,
It's
so
Superman for me.
here's my thing. Okay, Superman would be the easiest pick because yeah, Superman could just pick him up and beat him to death. I mean,
He's
technically that's
super.
how it should be. He's super,
Yeah.
right? But then again, once Batman figures out that this dude is weak to kryptonite, if he was able to figure that out before he had to actually fight Superman, like
You gotta
I
pick.
think
Gotta pick.
I would say Batman. Like I have to go with Batman
Ah,
because like
ah,
Batman is smart. Like
he is smart.
he is smart to the point where you're like, okay, if I'm able to fight Superman and actually come out of it surviving the first time, yes. And this is the plot from Superman versus Batman. Yes. Once he got his ass beat by Superman, survived that, he came back. He was like, okay, this guy is weak to something. He ain't just about to be dragging me across this room, like, and that's what he did. And I think that Batman's just smart enough to always figure out a way to win. And that's why I feel like he's pertained more to me. Like I feel more of a Batman than I do a Superman, because
All right.
Superman is given all these powers right off the bat, right?
Mm-hmm.
Batman feels like he can go get at least a comparable power. He may not be able to become Superman, right? But I'm
Yeah.
Batman. Maybe I can come demigod Batman or something where I have enough power to make this dude get back and be like, oh man, this dude's got some power. Because you think about it, right? If Batman is able to hurt Superman, Superman can't get any more super. You see?
Yeah, no, that's
Whereas,
true. That's true. I'm
whereas,
still rocking with Superman though. That's it's all right. You can have your gadget guy. I'm cool with the gadgets, but
gadget guy.
that's what he is. He's a vigilante with gadgets, and I'm okay with that. But he's a genius. But it is what it is.
Yeah,
All right. How about this? Coke or Pepsi?
I'm a Pepsi. Matter of
Oh,
fact, I got
Foul, you're
matter
killing
of
me.
fact, I
I'm
got
all.
a Pepsi right now. Let's
Ugh,
go.
ugh. I'm Coke, but I can't even drink it though because the caffeine and
Ugh.
whatnot. But I used to drink Coke. It was
Yeah,
it was
man.
I was all about the Coke way. Strong.
I don't know
It's
how
got
you
the
like that
fizz.
taste.
That fizz I need. Pepsi tastes like Diet
The
Coke to
fizz
me.
Coke tastes like cleaning products to me. Like, like, when you open a cap to like a cleaning product, that's what I kind of get from Coke. Like
That fizz does hit you all up in here
danger.
though. I'm not
I
gonna,
get, I get a feeling in my nostrils like danger,
yeah,
danger. You shouldn't be
I
drinking
like
this.
that fizz, but apparently it was bad for my inside, so I did have to give it up.
Yeah, man. I'm right behind you. I need to give stuff up too, so don't feel bad.
All right. Well, if you could have one superpower, what would it be?
Mm.
Mine would be to fly. I mean, I don't want to get rained on and my wings get blasted and I fly down to the ground. But in nice weather, I want to fly.
Mm. If I can,
Just only one. Just one. Don't be greedy.
if I could have, okay, if I could have a superpower, like out of any of them, it would be to have probably the world's smartest man or something like that. Like some
Mm,
some something
not a
like that.
superpower. That's a
That's not a
gift.
superpower. That's a gift.
No.
Okay. All right. So if I had a superpower, then it would have to be invisibility. I
Okay.
would be invisible. Like I like all
What would
right.
you do?
Who the hell knows invisibility? I'll become a terror at that point.
I
Like
can tell.
I'm dangerous at that point. I'm dangerous. Like he's just just go invisible, drop your clothes and run. Like
Oh my gosh.
that's that's awesome. The only problem I've always seen with invisibility, the problem with that power is
Yeah.
that if you don't have control of that, that's the
Right.
worst power to have. Like if you like on a
Yeah.
time type of base, like I'm trying to think of one of the superhero that like he was invisible. He don't be invisible so long though. It was almost like the Hulk. Like when I get angry, I get big, and this
Yeah.
literally like he can only get invisible when either he was like
No, you
afraid
know
or
who was
something.
doing that? One of the girls from The Incredibles, the daughter. I think she couldn't
Yeah,
control and
I
she'd
think that's
get
what it is.
mad at him. Yeah. Violet.
Yeah, I
She would
think
just
that
be
was.
like going in and out and flipping out. She's all hormonal and whatnot. Like, you gotta lock that up, girl. Like,
Yeah, if I could control it, that would be the perfect thing because you could just do whatever at that point. You go a life of good, you could go a life of bad with that. I mean, it's you could be a villain, you could be a hero. That's
yeah.
that one power. It's not like it's not like you know, most villains would have this power, or
Right.
like Superman. Like, oh, most of the time a Superman would be a hero versus being the villain, because most of the
Yeah,
time,
villains would be stealing and
yeah,
all kinds of any kind of bad thing they'd be doing it all.
exactly.
All right, so we talked about this. Well, you brought it up about Brian. So, like, are you a suit and tie kind of guy or
Mhm.
jeans and a tee, like when you go out? Like, say, not just going out, like,
I
let's
am
just say it's like
more.
a big night.
Oh man, now you talk to people who know me, they'll be like, I'll show up at like the places where you'd be like, man, you should have dressed up a little bit more for this. I'll come in like
Oh,
sweatpants
no.
and a shirt, like because
Oh,
I'm because I'm relaxed. Like I'm just all like, I'm a very, when I'm in public, I'm a very like, not, I wasn't gonna say low energy, but like just I'm real chill. Like I
no.
want to be
Very laid back.
comfortable. I'm laid back. I don't like, if I had to dress up in a suit, I'm probably ready. I'm like Clark Kent. I'm like, man, can somebody be in distress like ASAP so I can go and
So you
be
can rip it off.
Superman? Exactly. I'm ready to run down the hallway just like just
Yeah,
ripping this
yeah,
stuff
shredding
off.
it.
Yeah,
All
I'm
right, I
not.
can
I'm
see
definitely not a
that.
conventional. I'm not a conventional suit guy. Like, I'm definitely not a conventional suit guy. Maybe when I get to about like 230, 230 pounds, I'm like 250 right now. If I get to 230, if I can lose 20 pounds, I would be definitely in the suit, 6'2". And maybe I could just do
Okay.
that all the time. Maybe
Yeah,
when
then you can
Vulcan
just
comes out,
flex.
yeah, maybe if Vulcan comes out, life changes. I'll be like the dude that's always in a suit. Like, dude, you were in like hoodies and sweatsuits. What happened? Like, man,
I got rich. That's what happened.
I got rich.
Leveled
The
up.
man got to me and stuff. I'm just wearing, handkerchiefs and bow ties and stuff, just crazy stuff. Like, nah, but
Yeah.
I'm a real laid back, chill type of person. If you're gonna see me, you're probably gonna see me, if this is like what was it, Where's Waldo, right?
Yeah.
You're gonna be able to see me in a hoodie and some sweatpants. That's me.
Oh boy. I see. I mean, I can see that. I am a dress up person. I when the boys got to like certain ages, then we were walking around and stuff. Like we were in the city, so there's all kinds of attention and stuff. So I had to start like I started wearing my older son's clothes. I just feel like, all right, let's go out here with these
Yeah,
sweatpants,
just
these
chill.
shorts. Well, no, I mean I usually wear jeans and stuff, but like I don't wear like bummy jeans. I wear like cute
Uh,
jeans and stuff.
oh,
But you
okay.
can't go to the park with your two sons with like, looking cute. Like it's just so I started just wearing like boys' clothes. But
Oh, so you're
when I
you're you were trying to go out there just looking like what, like
I mean
tomboy?
I thought it was pretty basic for me.
Oh,
But
basic.
yeah, but then when I was out there, like the ripped jeans and stuff, and then all the guys would be like really extra, thirst buckets looking like wolves out
Oh,
there.
yeah,
So I had to,
that's
I had to tone it down. So yeah,
yeah.
but
I get
but
it.
when I
I
get
get
to
it.
dress up, I
Less
dress up.
pressure.
Yeah, if it like I usually will
Yeah.
call my friends or whatever and be like, "What's the vibe?" Because I don't want to be overdressed because then I'll look like a thirst bucket, and I never want to look like a thirst bucket.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's
All right.
I
So
definitely ask that question all the time. Anybody invite me out to anything, I'm like, hey, what's the dress like? All right.
yeah,
Because I don't want to embarrass you. I'll come in there. I come in there with a hoodie and some sweatpants. I do that
yeah.
not because I don't want to overdress, because I didn't want to underdress on people. And
Right.
now
Right.
like who invited this guy? Like, oh, that was me. Like, man, I'm never bringing you out again. Like,
No, but you know what though? I won't play my friend like that either. Like first of all, my friends, I'm like a no new friends kind of person. So like all my friends I've had since I was either a child or a teenager, young teenager. But they already know what I'm going to be wearing. So if they choose to wear something else, that's them. But if I know, like, let's say I invited you to go somewhere with me, I'd be like, listen, Fowler, look, don't come in the sweatpants, no hoodies, no whatever, I would let you know. I wouldn't play you out like that. But so yeah, let's. I got a couple more questions here. So, do you like to day trade or are you a buy and holder besides Vulcan?
I'm kind of like a mix. I haven't bought and hold in a while because I put pretty much my buy and hold portfolio. I put that into pretty much Vulcan and and a little bit of some in Uxie, because those are sacrifices. Those are pretty much at the point where I don't have to worry about holding. Meaning I don't have to, like, oh man. I could probably get rid of this a little bit, go make that, turn that, flip that couple
Yeah,
stacks, turn that into 10x, and then come back. I don't have that ability with Vulcan and Uzi, and that's good. I actually like those type
right.
of. I like those things. And if they weren't there, I'm definitely a buy and hold. I can definitely make it long term if I it just have to make sense, and I have to put it out of sight, out of mind. But
That's me.
day
I like that.
trading, it's kind of hard. Most of, I mean, again, I'm a degener. Like I can probably degen pretty decently if I give it, like if I pay attention enough. But like as far as like looking at the chart, being able to be like, oh, I'm gonna take today, every single day, I'm gonna find a point to take. If not, just leave it alone. I'm not that good. I'm definitely not that good. And Wednesday, I was that good. If I was, I mean, I'll probably have a profession in some type of day trading or something. I'll probably be really good at it. But I'm
Yeah.
I'm not trying to. It's too much stress. Too much
Yeah,
stress.
my friend was into that, and he would be like hitting me up back and forth. You gotta buy this. You gotta buy that. I just made this, and I'm like, I can't. So I did look into some videos on that, and I don't pay attention like that. I got other things to do. I got mouths to feed, and I just
Yeah.
can't
That's why I
focus, to be
DJ.
honest. Well,
That's why
I
I
just
DJ.
do.
B&B pie, like, you can go gamble on roulette on B&B pie. I don't do that. I just be like, you know
Roulette.
what? I'm gonna go DJ. I'm gonna go DJ. I'm gonna go
Yeah,
put like 50, $100 on some meme coin that's probably gonna drop as soon as they put liquidity into it. I don't know.
yeah. It's
Right
tough.
there.
But I think if I did make a lot of money ever, I think I would just have like, a back in the day person day trader for me. But like, instead of them being like in a room like you see on the movies and stuff with everybody screaming with tickets in their hands, like they could just do it from their house or whatever. I would totally hire somebody to do that because
Yeah, you don't
I
even have
like
to hire
dividends.
nobody. You don't even have to hire nobody no more. You just get you a bot, get you a crypto bot, and
Oh yeah, yeah, you're right. You're
let it
right.
do.
I forgot about that.
Yeah, you can
Yeah,
just set.
that's good stuff.
Listen, I got a couple crypto bots running right now. It's on centralized exchange. That's nothing to really brag about. But eventually, when these decentralized exchange bots are really become a thing, that's when I'm probably moving my stuff into. But I work bots now, and the bots, it does its thing. Yeah, does it lose
For the
some
day
days?
trading?
Lose some days.
For the day trading, it's
Yeah,
working.
yeah, some shit loses. Okay, it's a bear market.
Right, but I want them like
Yeah, I
taking
mean, some on the
profit
bear
out for
market,
me
the way
all the
we're at
time.
now,
Yeah,
yeah,
you gotta wait a
it'll
little
take
bit.
profit. You set parameters. You wait if it gets up to 1% in profit, it'll sell. You can
Yeah,
set it. You can set it to 5% of profit,
I
and
want to
it'll
do it.
sell. You can do those things.
Okay.
Those bots, they work. I mean, just you have to be realistic. You can't sit here and be
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
"Oh, I'm gonna get a bot, and it's gonna make me rich." No, it's not gonna
No,
make you rich. What it will
just like
do
some
is it'll
gas
flip money.
money.
Yeah, it'll flip
Yeah, I'm
money
good
for
with
you.
that. Yeah. Okay, so how did you hear about Vulcan or Seifu? I don't know. When did you get in?
Oh man, this is a good story here. So I was in when people say, people go down the rabbit hole, like
Yeah.
I was down the rabbit hole. Like me getting into safe food was up actually me coming up the rabbit hole a little bit.
Okay.
Um because I used, most people who DJ and stuff, they run through a lot of Telegram, Discord groups. You find
Hmm.
yourself going deeper, deeper, deeper. Find yourself going and putting money on projects that just don't make any sense in the world.
Yeah.
But sometimes it makes a lot of stuff does make money. And um, what ended up with me was I came off a nice profit off a really good play, which was Floki. I made a
Oh,
good play on Floki, and
that just sounds crazy.
I took those, yeah, all right. I took those profits, and I went and tried to start my own project. Um, and what ended up happening was I thought I knew everything because the way I've seen projects run and stuff like that, and I'm like, okay, I've seen this enough to be like, okay, there's a Twitter aspect, there's a social media aspect, there's a communication aspect of this where everybody has to get together as a community and stuff like that. There has to be there's hype men that's involved, there's moderators, there's this,
Yeah.
there's that, there's developers, there's owners, there's it's on and on and on. there's a lot of stuff that get put into it. So my thing was, if I could build a shell of a project, meaning like almost like a race, like you got a race car, like right in NASCAR, you have you have those cars, right? It's they're not regular cars though. Like they're shaped like regular cars, but they're not regular cars. All it is a shell. You got a shell, and then
Hmm.
everything that's underneath the shell is where all the money is for those kart racing teams, right?
Like a
So
psycho engine in a shell of a car. Yeah.
right. So my thing was, if I felt like if I build a real nice, pretty, nice, well looking shell, that everything else will come later. Meaning like, oh, you get the project up, and then people want to build into the shell and actually build the rest of the car. And kind of technically right, but like it's the way I went about it was totally wrong. And I thought I could pull it off just by myself, no help, no nothing. Had no mentors, no nothing, no community backing up, nothing. Literally just me and a couple people where we just throwing ideas, and then I was just sitting there building out the rest, website, Discord, all that stuff. And I thought I did everything right. In actuality, I made one big mistake was not being in a community, but having the project exposed. And what ended up happening was people saw my project, and the idea was taken. And
Mm.
and it's clear as day that it was taken. But I don't even cry with spilled milk, because guess what? I put that on myself. I made that mistake.
Yeah, you got to
If
be
I
careful.
really I shouldn't have had the project out there. But guess what? These are things we learn. And
Hmm.
and now I'm here, right? So how Seifu came around was pretty much once I realized that my idea was stolen, because I knew it was stolen, because I thought of the name, I thought of everything, right? And then
Yeah.
next here's some magical project comes out of nowhere, doing pre-sales and stuff, made enough money, pitched it to BitBoy. BitBoy promotes it, and boom, it's making 10 mil or
Oh
more
my
than
God.
that. May way more actually. But it's cool. It's cool. It's cool. But it's like, because now, guess what? At the end of the day, it prepared me all the way up to this point. So, not last year, but the year before, I think it was 21. Because Seifu launched in March of 21, right? Am I correct? Or am I
I don't
wrong?
think
Or
so.
22? 22?
22. Yeah.
It's 22. Okay, so right. So my project, the project I was working on, I started in 21 and went through the
Hmm.
winter, came through the Q1 and everything, February, and then that's when I noticed that my project was basically siphoned from me. So, and it's cool, again, cool, but I had kind of gave up at that point.
Oh.
So I kind of gave up at that point, because I got like, because it was, to me, it was like, well, I wasn't getting any traction. And I felt
Hmm.
like, what, I need to take a break. I need to take a break, readjust, figure it out. So funny enough, one of the guys I was working with, um, he was talking about something called Seifu. He said he was trying to get in the pre-sale. He had got into some DJ play. He put in like 2 grand. It was crazy. I forgot what DJ play he did, but it went from 2 grand to 20 grand. And he
Hmm.
came out there with 20 grand. And he said he was supposed to go into this thing called Seifu. And I guess he didn't. He did some other play. And he had told me in March, and I was like, oh, okay, cool. I didn't think nothing of it, because I wasn't playing, I wasn't doing any DJing, I wasn't doing any type of investing in nothing, because I was literally on the edge of pretty much at that time giving up on that project that I was working on. Like I in the beginning, ideas and stuff. Like
Hmm.
I was like, I think this is enough for this. So I was pretty much recovering from that. So time went on, and I think it was around. It might have been in the same month. I think a couple weeks later, and then Seifu launches and stuff, and then a couple more weeks after that, or a week after that, Seifu got to like $300.
Hmm.
And I was like, hey man, same dude. Went to him like, hey man, that Seifu thing you was talking about, man, it said $300. I was like, you're in on that? At that point, I thought, I was like, he got to be rich, because I know he just came off the 20 grand, right? He just came up 20 grand on profit. I'm like, okay, he's gonna go in on this Seifu thing. And so when I mentioned it, I'm like, this dude's got to be loaded. He got to. He's like, I'm like, hey bro, like, you know, I'm like, bro, you know that Seifu thing? It said $300 a token. Like, did you? Where you at? He was like, it said $300. He's like, it said $300. Like, yeah, bro, it said $300. He's like, you're playing. I'm like, no, I'm not playing. He was like, it launched like it some, I think some double digit number. It might be like 40s or something. I'm not even sure. Um,
Mhm.
but I think I initially saw it on CoinMarket. It was like in the 30s or 40s or something when they first started tracking it. And he was like, he sees it's 300. He starts crying. Like I'm
Oh my
on like,
gosh. Like for
yeah, I
real
think I'm on,
crying?
yeah, I'm on Telegram with him or something. He's like crying, like tears. Like you can hear the tears dripping and dropping off of the
Oh my
desk and stuff. That's
gosh.
like boop, 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 drip, drop, drip, drop. Like you can hear it. Like you can hear the tears.
Yeah, that's
And I'm
crazy.
like, yo, bro, like, what's wrong, man? Like,
Yeah.
he's like, man, I'm supposed to be, like, I should be rich right now. I should be rich. I'm like, what are you talking about, bro? Like, you should be rich. Like, I thought you were in it. He's like, I didn't get in. I didn't make it in the pre-sale in time.
Oh
I'm like,
no.
I'm like, damn, dog. Like,
He messed up. He told you about it and he
I'm
messed
like,
up?
yeah, but he never told me he was in. He didn't get in it. So I thought he was always in it. So
Mm.
here's a grown man crying. You know, his life is passing by. I guess I'm not sure, but I know. I'm like, all right. I never thought anything about it. I just let it go, and then that's what pretty much I took a hiatus, a quick hiatus,
Mhm.
on crypto, and then like I was looking at it like this crypto group and stuff, and I saw it again. I saw somebody say Seifu's down to like $9. This was in 22, probably around like June-ish. So it was like right when, you know, the stock markets was collapsing almost. People were like running for the
Yeah.
hills, and that affected crypto as well. So crypto was coming down. So you saw the price of Seifu going down.
Mhm.
I didn't necessarily know what it was, why Seifu was going down the way it went down. But what I did remember was that Seifu used to be $300. And
Right.
I was like,
So you knew it had potential.
oh, I know. That's the one grown man was crying that he lost his fortune or whatever. Like, so I
Crazy.
knew then, like, if this was enough to make a grown man cry, then it's enough for me to go put a lot in while it's
Yeah.
down. Now, did I know that Seifu was going to continue to go down the way that it did? Now, funny enough, when I came in on Seifu at that time, it was like $7, $8. And I get it in real nice. And then literally probably like 2, 3 days later, after I got in a nice bag too. I got in a nice bag. I went balls to the wall on Safe Food when I first got in. Like
Mhm.
just straight up, just like through it. I was like, through it. And 3 days later after I got in, it went up to like $18. So so now I'm seeing like, $3,000, $4,000 jump up to like $18,000. Like it's like, whoa. Now, you can't, you see that stuff on most DJing plays, right? Like
Mhm.
coming straight out of pink sale, you're like, either you're gonna make it or you're not. Either it's gonna drop or it's gonna go up. And sometimes you make it,
Right.
sometimes you don't. In
Yeah.
this instance, it was like, yo, I just put all this money in, just aping in because I saw it was cheap. Now it's at like $18. I'm like looking at 17, 18 grand and so I'm looking at some, but I didn't know what I was doing because I didn't
Right.
know the mechanics of safe food. So that was a problem. If I
Oh,
would
so you
knew
weren't really in the community at that point.
exactly, I hadn't got. I mean, I was in Discord, but I wasn't in Discord. I could
Right,
hear
right.
what Dio was saying, but I wasn't necessarily always understanding what Dio was saying.
Well, I feel
Dio,
like that's probably still hard even now.
but Dio, what Dio was saying made sense. It's like we're going down, right? We're going down. In my mind, though, I just saw us go up to 18. Why? So of course he's just sitting there like, man, what else could it go up to? And then that's the problem. You wait too long. But then it was also the rebasing. That was something that got me. So I was all hyped up on making the bag get bigger, holding diamond hand and through it all. But it was just like, I've learned a lot since then. So ask me how I would have handled those things a lot different. The way Seifu was going, how I
Mhm.
would have handled things now with those same situations, I would definitely change a lot of things that I did, and I probably would have made out way, way, way better than I am now if I would took certain points. Of course, we all remember the sacrifice, the first day one sacrifice, right? We all remember that, right?
Right.
That would be something I learned from forever. Like, don't rush, right? I was like, that's what I got out of all that. Everybody was like, we got hurt and all this stuff. Well, shit. If I would have waited a little bit longer, what it would have looked like? I would have probably got like $1, whatever those prices were during that week
Yeah.
of sacrifice, the first few days, right? First week. And that's what I learned. And these are learning, these are events that we learn, right? So when these
Yeah.
things
Yeah.
come up again, when you find yourself in a situation where everybody is trying to reach get to a certain point at the same time, at the same point, sometimes it always isn't, imperative to be first. And I think
Oh
that's one
yeah.
thing I've
Yeah.
learned.
You gotta let it
So
play out a little bit first sometimes.
sometimes you gotta let a little play out a little bit. And I'm
Yeah.
not gonna lie to you guys. Trust me, I learned from my mistakes. And I
That's good.
can
As long as you learn, as long as you learn.
yeah, as long as you learn, right? So
Hmm.
I'm definitely playing things a lot differently than I was a year ago.
That's good. All right. So you've been in crypto for like a couple of years, you'd say?
I've been
Uh
in
oh.
crypto since 2016.
Okay. Yeah,
So
a few years. Pretty good. You're coming up on 10 in a
yeah,
few more years.
yeah. So it's not and the thing is, it's not like I was always, skilled. I mean, I came in, I started mining, I was crypto mining. My whole
Oh, I
thing
wanted
was
to
I want
do that and I never
oh,
did.
it's so amazing when it was like back then. Like, even though back then I was still late. I was in 2016, 2017, I was still too late. I really need to have been
Yeah.
around like 2012 and stuff like that. But like, the whole thing was I was missing out, but I love the fact that proof of work, right? Like, basically,
Yeah.
I'm using my tech, my computers, my ability to build computers, build multiple computers, have them linked together, have them be able to link up to pools and mining pools and stuff like that. Setting that stuff up, really, really made a like it made a point where I was like, man, I want to do this. Like, I want to do this. Now things have changed, of course. I mean, look at me now. And if I could, show some, like, I was doing videos a while
Hmm.
back then. I was doing them like 2016, 2017. And
Oh, so you've been on YouTube for a while.
yeah, if you look at my account is pretty old. So my YouTube account. Now, it's not just watching, but I did try to do influencing work back when this thing was called you might heard this one project called BitConnect.
Mm,
You ever heard of BitConnect?
sounds a little
BitConnect.
familiar.
Yeah, you look up a couple stuff, you see a guy that's always talking about some BitConnect and stuff like that. You're like, it's one of the biggest, it was one of the biggest scams in crypto. It's one of the biggest
Yeah.
scams.
Oh
This was
no.
before, yeah, this is before DeFi. This is before
Yeah.
DeFi. This was back when ICOs and stuff was a real thing. Like, it was real bad because people like really snatching money, because it was like the money was never like it was never anything. It was just like you would see a web interface, right? Like, it wasn't web 3. It was just like regular web 2.0, and you're seeing things like compounding interest and stuff like that. You're seeing these platforms and programs and stuff, but there's really no money really behind the system.
Right.
There's no wallet, there's no contract address, there's nothing. It's just basically the Bitcoin or whatever you use is sitting in somebody's wallet right now, so, and I promoted that. I promoted that, but I wasn't like big or anything. But like, it didn't. Then the project scammed. They ran off
Mm,
with the money, and they cashed out the Bitcoin. I think hell, I don't know if I'm not sure, but I feel like they sold around that same, because right when that happened, Bitcoin collapsed from the 20K mark it was at its high in 2017. It was like 20K, and it came down. That was around the same time. That was pretty much the same time, and I felt real bad. Like,
yeah, I bet.
I felt real bad. Not because it's like, because I had some followers. It wasn't like a lot, maybe like 100 some followers.
Hmm.
Some people showing up though, but
Right.
like, I felt bad because here I am. I'm like, yeah, Bit connect this, bit connect that, yeah, yeah, yeah. And then next thing you know, it comes down. So
Yeah.
um, it kind of took me away from that whole influencer part. Cause honestly, if I would have stuck to it then, I probably have been all right now because for sure, because I mean, it was influencers for crypto then. It wasn't a thing. Like crypto influencer wasn't a thing. That's why those guys,
No.
a lot of those influencers at that time got in trouble for a lot of stuff because you didn't hear things like not financial advice and stuff like that.
Right.
That stuff came from those type of things. Like not,
Yeah, from those
influencers
people
saying,
getting in trouble.
yeah, that stuff came from that. So,
Mm-hmm.
you know, but once I saw like more recently, when I started, it was a real tug and pull for me to start to become, get on YouTube again and influence. Like it was tough because remember
Yeah.
I started off, I was behind my avatar, the
Oh
little
yeah, the
smiley diggity.
circle face.
Yeah, so I stuck with that. I was adamant. Honestly, I was adamant at one point. I was like, I'm gonna become big with just this me face, and I'm never gonna show my face. But then it was like, you know, Brian Legend kind of was like, "Hey man, I like your stuff, but I need to see who's the man behind the avatar."
Oh,
And it was
he
just like,
said that. Okay.
yeah, he did an AMA. So it was kind of like for me, I was like, if he was just like posted in like a comment on one of the videos and stuff, I probably wouldn't have paid no attention. I was like, all right,
Right, right.
I'll think about it. But the fact that he put it on the AMA was kind of like it's like the ultimate challenge at that point because now you put a lot of spotlight on me, so
Mm-hmm.
people are looking at my channel. But now it's like I feel like, damn, do they really want to know who's behind this avatar? So I
Oh,
was like, you
everybody
know what?
always wants to know.
I was like, you know what? I got nothing to hide anyway, and it's not like I have to give you everything about me, right? So
Yeah, yeah,
and it's not like, I mean, could you find me using my face? Maybe you could, maybe, but like, I mean, who cares? As long as you're not like invading my private space,
yeah.
we're good.
I think so.
I got no problem. Like if somebody sees me in Vegas or something, like, hey man, it's a guy on YouTube. I got no problem. They're like, hey man, I can shake your hand, all that stuff. But if I
Yeah,
find you at my kid's school or something, and you talking about some
yeah,
Fowler stuff, now we got problems.
yeah, yeah. No,
So
I totally agree.
um yeah, so like,
That would be really
that's
weird.
where that was always a problem when it came to like, do I want to do this stuff? But then eventually, what I wanted more was to have my opinion out there. I wanted people to understand some things that I understand that maybe they don't understand. And then maybe I can make things a lot easier for them to understand in a more, easier way of explaining things. And that's what I've always tried to do. I haven't tried to make some crazy show where I'm trying to get like crazy amounts of people. If it came like that, I would be like okay with it.
Yeah.
I'm not a fame guy. I'm more of a progress guy. I'm like
Okay.
what fuels me is me accomplishing things. So whether I accomplish them in public or I accomplish them in private does not matter because at the end of the day, my goals are what I'm trying to accomplish. So that's pretty much how I see things.
All right, that's cool. I get it, and it all makes sense. So, let's see. This is it's not a big deal, but I'm pretty sure people want to know what's your drink of choice. I know you don't drink that much, but when you do,
If I drink, it had to be tequila. I'm I'm a Jose Cuervo guy, traditional. I'm also Sincoro. Yeah, like Respato Sincoro. Michael Jordan's choice of tequila.
nice,
So,
nice.
if the goat's drinking it, I gotta drink it too. So yeah,
Okay.
it's a really good tequila. Like it's a really good tequila. So smooth. It's expensive, compared to any other tequila, but it's just like it's amazing.
I don't really pay that much, so I don't know how much
Yeah, because
is
females don't have to pay for drinks, so
yeah.
you can order all the you could probably order all the tequila you want, and you be all good at the bar. Me,
Well,
I'm
no,
out here.
let's not get
Here,
crazy.
man, take some more of my money for this shot.
Yeah,
And I'm
we
like,
went out. on Saturday night, I went out with the girls for a birthday, and oh my gosh, there was a bunch of scrubs out there. That was the first time I didn't get a drink offered to me at all. I don't always take the drinks, but I'm used to the offer. And I was
Uh,
like, whoa, this drink was like, I think it was like $17 for like a little drink, like the glasses like this, like those
mm,
whiskey glasses. I was like, this is ridiculous.
yeah.
But,
See in Chicago, it's just like man, drinks are expensive as hell. I gotta go to
yeah.
the neighbor. I gotta go to the neighboring state, Indiana, just to get decent price drinks. It sounds crazy,
So
but
you go
that's
out there, or you go out and hang out there at clubs and bars, or you just go there to like buy liquor?
no. I go to like the bars and everything because it's cheaper. It's
I didn't
just
know
a
they had bars in Indiana.
oh
Like
yeah, tons, tons. Might be too many, honestly.
I had
But
no idea there was a nightlife in Indiana.
their liquor stores are closed on Sundays, so it's
Oh,
kind
they're
of
still doing that. I can respect that.
yeah,
I'm
it's like 1940s or something
yeah.
when on Sundays. It's
It
like
was like that when I was little. I remember that because we have family from Long Island, and everything used to be closed except for this one in that area anyway, that little neighborhood, except for this like one Indian gas station. But
mm,
everything else was closed except for like, yeah, that one. And then right after church, they would have like Roy Rogers or something, which I hated. I hated Roy Rogers, but that's what we could get after church. And then, whatever we made at
oh
home.
man.
Yeah, it was pretty. It was wild west out there. It reminds me of your music. So, what kind of music do you like? Because your intro, I said before, is like hip hop Zorro, and I like it, but it's definitely two things like totally like thrown together. It works though. So yeah, what kind of music do you like?
Yeah, so I'm not like a traditional like I listen to everything. Like if you hold on one second. Actually, did my thing pause? Damn, it did pause. Hold on.
Yeah, I messaged you a little while ago, but maybe you didn't see it.
Dang, you didn't tell me. You gotta tell me. You gotta tell me on screen. Like because I don't pay attention to it. Like
Oh,
off the
the
screen.
private
Like I
chat.
don't
You
pay
and
attention to it.
Dano. You got to
No.
look at that private chat. It's private for a reason.
It be
But yeah,
sitting there, notification be right there. I just do not hit it. As far as
yeah,
music,
the big red
like
one.
like I'm like when it comes to music, like if you pay attention, like I have my on my Discord, I have like my Spotify that plays. And if
Oh,
you ever
cool.
look, you'll probably see some of the craziest music. You'd be like, what in the world is he listening? You could be listening to I could be listening to Biggie Smalls one day, I could be listening to something else, I could be listening to um Avenged Sevenfold next day. I could Gwen Stefani could be on my playlist. Wiz Khalifa could be on a playlist. It could be
Yeah,
anybody. It's just a time of day and what my list runs into, and if I choose not to hit skip or not. So I don't really
yeah.
have like a actual like genre I just like constantly listen to because I know some
Hmm.
people are like that. Some people just like listen to one genre of music and then just what they listen to. Me, it
Yeah.
could be anything on my playlist. So if you ever riding in a car with me, good luck. Like because I'm not handing over the radio controls ever. like
Oh, you're that guy.
like oh, I'm that guy. Oh no. You know, I am notorious for slapping people on the hands when they start reaching for knobs. I'm
Yeah,
like, like, what are you doing?
that's
What are you
fine.
doing? Yeah, like, don't touch that. Like,
Yeah, yeah,
if
yeah.
you want to listen to this, you need to jump out this car while it's moving because I'm not stopping.
Yeah. Yeah, my
Yeah,
kid, he's well, the younger one. The older one, he already knows the rules, but the younger one, man, oh my gosh, he's like, oh, why are we listening to that? I was like, let's put the headphones on. It's my car, my controls.
exactly.
Those are the rules. Everybody got these are the rules, like unspoken rules of the car. Everybody
Right.
knows that.
My car, my rules. Your
Yeah,
car, your rules.
yeah. Like in the house when we have parties, whatever. Dano has a speaker. I let him put stuff on, but like I'll be like, hey, what's going on, DJ? Like, let's get some more popular songs here because he'll put on some stuff that I'm like, I just feel like it's not a party kind of song, but he's he's funny. There was this one time. There was only a couple of us there, like my niece and my sister, and I think the boys and my best friend. He's a guy, so we're there. We're singing karaoke. We got the mic stand out there, and Dano had it all on the bar, like the outdoor bar. So he's like, I don't know what happened. He was being He was being a DJ behind the bar. So it was so funny. And he just got excited and came out from behind the bar and like walked through the whole thing, put his arms up and just ripped all the cords out. The speaker went flying. Like, what just happened?
He was a madman karaoke madman.
He didn't have the microphone. I don't know what happened. He just got excited. He just like shut the whole party down. It was the biggest party foul. I mean, it was recorded too because of course we had the stuff.
Oh, he was recording too.
Oh yeah. So we just rewound it. I made a clip of it. I was sending it to people.
That sounds like that could be viral.
If I would have posted it, maybe I don't know, maybe, but yeah, it was a
viral.
good time. That's why I was like, just be the DJ. You don't have to come out here and like fully join the party. You gotta stay behind the booth.
Guy gets angry at karaoke machine.
He wasn't even angry. He just excited. He like walked through like touchdown. What? I don't know what happened. Oh my gosh, that was a good one. That was a good one. All right. Anyway, tears are real. Yeah. By the way, I love to laugh.
No, that's how I know.
I was like cracking up. I laugh at everything. You'll probably hear me in the background of Dano's videos. All right, this one's a good one too. How did you come up with the infamous hate ball, aka great ball, aka 8 ball? Did you have one as a child? Like, how did this come about?
Honestly, it's funny. It's probably a mix of a couple things here. And it sucks because this is why it's crazy that Curtius is not around because Curtius was a big proponent of pushing it, and Biz is a big proponent of pushing it. Biz is a godsend when it comes to me being in public because I'm an introvert. I'm an introvert. I'm not a person that likes cameras. I don't like cameras. Like, I really don't. Like, I may be missing most of my life memories because I didn't record them by actually either take a picture or video. But when I started, it was like real big on pushing me to like do certain things I was kind of like not used to doing because I was never really someone who's likes being on camera, and but Biz saying Biz.
He doesn't like being with a camera either, so he totally gets it.
Biz like he knows I talk too much. I man, I'm like a bucket with a hole in it. So
I've muted you before.
Yeah, so it's pretty bad, but no, like it's been really it's been a collective when it comes to the hate ball. Y'all not about to get me,
the great ball, the 8 ball.
Great ball. Yeah, it's 8 ball. Y'all keep saying hate ball. Now got me saying I got no reason to hate the 8 ball. So but for the most part, like it's been a collective, people kind of like pushed it. It was like, it was real good, man. Like when it first started doing it, it was like it was real cool, and and people really caught on to it. And I just want people to enjoy my channel. Like I don't necessarily need 100 people, 200 people. If I got 10, 15, 20 people coming, and if all they want to do is either just want to come and be part of the 8 ball segment, or they just come in for it to hear me talk about crypto, I'm all for it. And I'm gonna be the person who like tries to give them the best show they can, even though it's not a lot of people. Some people will be like, man, you need like I had a guy on Twitter. Funny enough, I was responding to like a Brian Legend post, and this guy on Twitter, he's like, man, you should have. He said to Brian Legend, he's like, you should have put money in the safe moon. And I'm like, so I go in there and I'm like, LMAO, and then I put like some gift that said funny shit, like, and it's really just to be sarcastic. It affects you. Why we need that, right? Because that's stupid at this point. Like safe moon. What are we talking about? So he comes, responds, and says, oh, you only got 309 followers on Twitter. Like, don't quit your day job. I could have kept responding to it, but yeah, who cares about that dude? But the whole thing is, like, I don't care that the fact that I have 309 Twitter followers. I showed Greek the whole fucking the screenshot. I'm like, it's cold out there because people will think that you need X amount of followers to be relevant. Like
Mhm.
you don't need thousands and thousands of people to be relevant. What you need is a good amount of people that's focused on what you're talking about, and it actually what you're talking about is going directly to them. Now, I will be the first one to admit my Twitter game is terrible,
Yeah.
but but that just shows how much I'm put towards YouTube, and
Yeah, but you got to focus on one thing at a time. That's fine.
right. And I mean, Twitter is what it is, the way Twitter is right now. Like, Twitter is like, it's a joke to me. Like, it's a joke, but it is the primary way of getting marketing done with crypto and being able to communicate about crypto. It's a big component. Hopefully, it gets better. But the whole point is that people think that you need a lot of people to feel relevant. I don't care. Like, I don't care. Like, that's why I'm not
Yeah.
like these 15 subscribers that's gonna be between me and monetization right now. It's no rush for me because at the end of the day I know I will get them eventually, but it's
Mhm.
like I don't need it to be relevant. I don't need to be monetized. I want to be monetized so people can be like, oh, I want to super chat you, and they'll be able to super chat versus having to go through
It's easier. Yeah.
go through a link, hook up a PayPal account, and all this other stuff when they could just do it through YouTube, which they are used to doing. So
Yeah.
that's what I'm really pushing for. But I am pushing more for more of a community to be built around me for the things that I do as well. So, but pretty much what I do isn't something like it's not like I'm doing something totally different than what I do on YouTube. It's not like
Mhm.
I'm YouTube about crypto, and then on the side of my YouTube, I do I knit sweaters or something. And then after I knit the sweaters, I go on my YouTube and be like, "Hey guys, look, I got this sweater. I just knit it. Buy my knitted sweater." It's not
Yeah, that's
that.
random.
But my thing is pretty much, I'm building this because one, I game, and one, I do crypto. And honestly, both of them are mixed together at this point. So, it's upon me to build my brand as big as I can with those two things in mind, gaming and crypto. Do I have a lot of
Yeah, I think
followers?
that's perfect.
Right. Do I have a lot of followers? No, not right now. Could it be? Yes, it's very, very well. And it starts with what I do now, right? I'm laying all this foundation. I'm making all these videos. I'm
Mhm.
setting up myself Monday through Friday, 3 p.m. Eastern for Fowler's Crypto Talk all the time,
Yeah,
right?
everybody knows that's your time. That's your slot.
Right. So what happens is, in my mind, once Vulcan blockchain launches, once Seifu Go start doing this thing, what happens? More eyeballs start popping up. They start typing things like Seifu. They start typing things like Vulcan. And guess what? For this whole since the time I started YouTube, that's all I've been tagging my videos, Vulcan or
Yeah.
Seifu or something else. So once people start looking those things up, what are they going to see? They're going to see my avatar. That's all they're going to see. They're going to be like, Fowler, 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 Fowler. Who's this Fowler guy? And then
Yeah.
eventually it comes in, I'm going to hit subscribe. And I'm going to like his videos. And then eventually, yeah, maybe I do see those 5,000, 6,000 amount of people while I'm doing a live. Maybe that happens. Maybe it doesn't. It's
You
fine.
never know. You got time.
But tons of time. I already been in crypto 10 years. What's another 10 years?
Well,
At
I
least
don't
I'll
want to
be
be too old
extracting
up
time.
here. But wait, you never said like how
Hey,
the
I
idea
mean,
about the 8 ball came about.
oh,
Like, how was it
honestly,
birthed?
look, it's. I was looking for. I think people were doing things like giveaways and stuff. I think I
Mm-hmm.
remember seeing like I think Crypto Pride was doing like he was doing giveaways and stuff where he was doing like the spinny thing, and it
The
was like
raffles.
StreamYard.
Yeah, that was the thing.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
I was like, I didn't want to do raffles because I was like, one, I'm not in a position yet to even just throwing stuff out there like that yet. And then I didn't. Then I was like, well, what I'm gonna throw out there? I like, could I spend a lot of money on gift cards? That'd be something. But then people will just be coming for the gift cards, not really coming for me. Like
Mm-hmm.
now I'm a provider. Now I'm a provider. Like we go to Fowler's channel where he got gift cards. Like, oh, he's doing a
Yeah.
gift card giveaway. Let's show up. I don't want to
Yeah.
be that guy. I didn't want to be that guy. I wanted to be the guy who people come because they enjoy coming to see my channel. And if you don't, then it is what it is. I
Right.
hope you find a
Everybody's not
channel
for
that is.
everybody.
Everybody's not for everybody. But the people who do come for me every single day,
Mm-hmm.
I make sure like I do certain things that kind of like make sure like look, I'm here as much as you pay attention to me. I'm paying attention to you too, just as my viewers, right? And
Yeah.
I've been doing things like I made the Vulcan Air Discord. I did everything with that, and I did the NFTs for the OGs and stuff, and more things to come. Like I'm doing things, I'm progressing things off what I'm doing. So like it's like YouTube turned into a Vulcan Air thing. I never thought the Vulcan Air thing was going to come around. If you would
Hmm.
let these ideas come to me, and I kept acting upon them, right? And you can ask, people who in my Vulcan Air OG and stuff like I I put out ideas and I keep going with the ideas. You can ask people who directly like communicate like Greek and stuff like that. Like when
Yeah, you're
I
always
put out
putting
my
out
ideas,
ideas.
I always get right. I put out ideas and for people just to take most of the time. Like
Right.
I do that on purpose because I get a lot of DMs from people who always have ideas and stuff. I can't, and like, yeah, maybe one day I become like this full-fledged developer or something like that. But I can't make everybody's idea come to light, but like
Right. Right.
there's a lot of people have there's either people who want to do things and they don't have ideas, or people who have ideas and they don't know how to do the things. And I get both. And like I get both so much, and I'd be like, when I go on live, I'll just be like, it'd be a good idea. And then I'll throw it out there. And then Biz will come typing like, man, shut up. We need that.
I know.
Like I'm giving up the codes to the nuclear arsenal or something.
Well, you gotta give them some, give them some. You don't give them all. Not
Yeah,
everything.
my thing is if I feel like if I can come up with a full-fledged idea for somebody to utilize for themselves, and you'd be like, oh man, that's good as gold. Then if I can do that, if I had somebody could say, your idea is good as gold, you formulate that and right off the top of your head, and you did it just for somebody else to have that idea to build
Yeah.
upon, then I know I can do it at any point of the time. It's just when, just like Brian Legend says, he goes in the shower and he comes up with his ideas. I I can drink a can of Pepsi and come up with an idea. Okay,
Oh,
like
not the Pepsi.
yeah, like boom, I got the fuel. I got an
Yeah.
idea. Or
I
most
get
of my
ideas in the middle of the night and I forget them by the morning. I hate that.
nah, see, most of my ideas. I wish. Nah, I'm glad that doesn't happen. That sucks.
Yeah,
Like that
it
sucks.
does.
You'll be sitting there like, man, I got this, but what was the rest? I don't like it.
Yes.
Yeah, I hate that. It's like a dream. Like I hate
Yeah,
that.
but I know I was awake. I just can't remember all of it.
Yeah.
Tough.
But see, like, yeah, it's tough. That's the tough. I get most of my ideas legitly come me puffing. Like
Oh
people
gosh.
don't like. Listen, I have to slow down most of the time so I can really have ideas formulate the way I need them to formulate.
Right.
Because I'll think of some stuff, but then it'll be like, well, how do I thought all this, but I never thought of a way how to implement it.
Mhm.
Whereas when I sit back, I relax, I puff. What ends up happening is I relax and I'm like, this is a great idea. And how I would implement it is X, Y, and Z. And then I usually pull out my pen and pad because I usually have a pen and pad right next to where I smoke. And then boom, I'm writing
Because you
down
already
ideas.
know.
Oh, because I already know. Because what happens is I'll think of all this stuff, and then once I'm done zoning it out, I'm like, wait a minute, what was that? What was I supposed to do with that? Or like what was it for? Was this for my
Yeah.
guys a gaming thing? And that's the type of things I'll end up. So I have to write stuff down too in combination with it. But for the
Yeah.
most part, my brain relaxes. I like that. And that's why I do what I do, because I have to relax my brain. I have to relax it because it's so much. I want to accomplish so much, and I'm thinking of so many
Yeah.
different ways of like accomplish the things I want to accomplish.
Mhm.
Sometimes if I don't slow down, I'm never gonna put it down on paper. I'm never gonna.
Yeah, yeah. Then you
I'm
can't
always
focus and start getting stuff done.
right.
I
I'm
hear you.
always gonna be building, but I'm never gonna be doing anything in substance. So and that's how I do things. But so I definitely feel when Brian Legends be saying like, man, I came up with this, come with that, and I be sitting there
Yeah.
thinking, I'm like, I know why he keeps coming out with this shit. I know why he keeps upgrading shit, because he's not sitting down. He's like, nobody's taking the
Yeah.
pin away. He's like constantly coming up with something else.
Yeah,
You
yeah, and
know,
then he implements them quickly, which is great. I'm trying to do that. So
yeah.
I have notebooks everywhere, first of all. But that's part of the problem because I will leave the notebook or forget I wrote it in the notebook. So I also email myself so that I have
Mhm.
access to it from wherever I am. So I try to remember that stuff. I'm the best with that with the recipe. Like if I just want it, because I'm like, I bake wherever I go, so I'll do stuff like that.
Mm,
But it's hard, and it's hard for me to like focus. I do have focusing issues and like neurological stuff, but writing
mm.
down helps, and then like putting stuff in my calendar, and then having email.
Audio record it. Audio record. That's like the foolproof way of me doing it. It's like
Yeah,
literally auto recording myself, and then I'll
I have
just
no
play it back.
space for that. I just I have
Oh,
so many pictures and videos. It's horrible. I keep upgrading my iCloud, but it's like it's never gonna be enough. But whatever.
oh man. Oh,
Yeah,
they getting you good. They
yeah,
get good on those monthly fees.
I know, but I like I need it. I can't. And some
I
of the
know
pictures
that's
that
what they banking on.
yeah, some of the stuff that I have because I'm a photographer too. And I have like hard pictures, but like I don't even feel like putting them on the computer and putting them on like a drive or a disk. Those add up too. So it's like I'd rather just have it in the air somewhere. I could just get it
Mm,
whenever I want it. But I
yeah,
got one last question for you. It's pretty serious. Are you ready for this?
sure. That's it.
You sound so unsure.
I mean,
It's not
why not?
really serious. Do you believe we landed on the moon?
Oh, that's nothing. No, I do
I
not
know.
blame. I don't believe we landed on the moon, and it's
Oh
not
my
because of the
gosh.
same. It's not the same reason why Kryptonian doesn't believe
Yeah.
why we didn't land on the moon. Kryptonian is just somebody who believes that if you if you can't show him, then he just don't believe it. Me, on the other
Yeah.
hand, I take a little bit more of a logical step towards the moon landing. Is if if we can't do certain things now, how in the world did we do them then?
Yeah, that
Right?
makes sense.
If landing on the moon actually happened and we did it that one time, that means we should have improved upon how we got there, and we should have been kept going because there should have been a reason for us to keep going. Because that, if that would okay, so whatever the rockets we had back then, however long it took to get to the moon, or whatever the case may be, 4 days or whatever, then
Yeah.
if from that point on they got back from the moon, if that was the case, if that was the accomplishment, they should have been making that accomplishment every single year since then. Meaning
Yeah, should be improving.
the next decade, they should have been able to do it in 3 days. The next
Yeah.
decade after that, they should have been able to do it in 2 days. And by the time we got up to where we are now, we should literally be able to get to the moon and be like, boom. Like we're
Oh
at the
no.
moon.
Kryptonians in the comments.
Oh man. I ain't worried about that guy, man. All right, look, like I already said, Kryptonian, he knows. He knows. He like if he don't see it, he don't believe it. Right? Just
Yeah,
like
he's a doubting Thomas. Yeah.
he don't believe that the world is a ball. He don't believe, it's all type stuff he don't believe. He thinks everything is CG. I don't know. Like he thinks when they do a spacewalk, it's all CG. The
Yeah.
crazy. That's the crazy. I'm like, you know how much computing power you would need in order to make some of that stuff look that true to life? Like, that's a lot of
Well, they got
power,
a lot of
bro.
power.
I
I
mean,
will say
yeah.
this. I personally don't believe everything they tell us, but
Oh no.
I generally keep it a little more quiet, in my opinion.
Mm. I mean,
But yeah.
my thing is, here's the problem. The government has been proven to lie about things. Okay.
Yeah.
Um, it's true to date. All of a sudden, you can't get to the moon no more because you lost all the know how on how to get there. All the tape and all the stuff that they was looking for is gone. Like it doesn't make sense to me.
Yeah,
And
they
it,
do. They do
and
lie.
we all know the government does lie, and that's true. Uh, I mean, well, he's still taking it out of context. He know damn well what I mean. He knows that he doesn't believe. I sat there over and over and asked him, like,
Yeah.
dude. He's like, if I don't see it, I don't believe it. Just like the space station, right? He even said it. He said, I don't see it, I don't believe it. We showed him a video of a guy with a high-powered telescope, and he saw it, and he picked it up. And what did Kryptonia say? He put it together
Well, he
multiple
said who
times
gave
to
them
make it
the
look so much.
coordinates.
Yeah, who gave the coordinates?
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
So it's like, who else gonna give you the coordinates? I don't like have a radar station. I don't know where to. I don't.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
couldn't tell you where the space station is right now. I don't have a radar system. The only person who can tell me is the people who own the radar stations, which is who the government.
That's how I felt.
So
Yeah,
I get
yeah.
it. He doesn't want to get lied to. I don't want to get lied to either.
No,
But I
of
do
course
also
not.
know. I also know the government does lie, and once you get proven as a liar as a government, then I mean, anything's I gotta. I'm just like Tony. I gotta start questioning things. I mean,
Yeah.
I question some of the wars and stuff. The whole not not 9/11, but Iraq
Yeah.
thing. Weapons of mass destruction, all that stuff. It's you gotta look at it. And as much as I don't want to be like, oh man, the government wouldn't lie to us as a people, but yes, they will lie to us as a people. They will keep the lie going as long as they can
Yeah,
without
that's
like,
historically true.
yeah,
So, I mean,
like
I get it.
so the moon landing back then could have been a lie. I
Yeah.
believe it was. Are they going to Mars and stuff, sending robots to Mars and all this stuff? What we
Yeah, I
seeing
don't know about that.
nowadays? I believe it. I do believe
So
it.
you believe the Mars, but not the moon, because it's now
I
like we've got
I
more
believe
technology and
because
stuff.
we're exactly so.
Okay.
If they, I honestly believe if they really want to prove, if they truly want to prove we've been to the moon, right? They would send a robot to the moon right now. You can
Yeah.
send a you can send the unmanned ship anywhere. Like they send telescopes to deep space, so
Yeah.
they can send a dummy rocket with the robot and everything inside and land it right on the fucking moon. And then guess what?
Okay.
That robot we got a camera, and he'll see that flag that they posted, right? Because they left a flag, right? So that flag got to be still there. There's no weather. There's no weather on the moon, right? Like there's no
I don't
atmosphere.
know. Outer space is a whole different world.
I don't
Literally.
know unless there's like space wind. I've never heard of space wind. So
Well,
like
guess what? You see the meteors and stuff, so they move. What's
so what's
moving them?
so what's this? Okay, so that's great. One that's some type of pull, right? They could have
It could be a
most of
pull or a push. We don't know.
most of the from what comments and stuff are, they're basically exploded planets from supernovas and stuff like that travels through space, right? High
Yeah.
rates of speed because of where they exploded, right? That's the science behind it. So if it's going places, it already got momentum. Now on the moon, there's a flag planet there in gravity that's staked in the moon. So basically, it should always be flat and it should be pretty much stuck in the moon, right? So if a
Yeah.
robot comes down there with a camera and it goes broadcasting where it was supposed to, where they landed, and there's no flag, there's no shoes, no shoe prints,
Mm-hmm.
no nothing left behind. And then I have to sit there and say, you guys have never been to the moon.
Mm-hmm.
Now, if they, the problem is you don't know what they're showing you. You just don't know what they're showing you, and I get why people will be like, I don't think the Mars thing is real because like you don't know what you're really seeing.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. Your map. Your map's a funny one. He's one of the people I was interested in interviewing before too, because he's like always being silly and stuff. But then when you hear him talk, like he knows what's going
oh
on. He's
yeah,
really intelligent and knowledgeable.
Tom
But
Holland, Spider Man.
yeah,
Oh yeah,
with the lighter hair though, it's not as
I
dark as Tom Holland's.
neighborhood.
Yeah,
This is our
we gotta get
neighborhood
him a
Spider Man,
costume.
guys.
What's up,
I'm
you map?
telling you, that's what next Halloween he needs to be in the Spider Man outfit. If he popped off with the mask and it's like boom, it's him that. I was like, damn.
No, maybe he could just have the Spider-Man underneath how Superman does it, little
He's
Clark
like,
Kent. But he
guys, I
doesn't
gotta
have to
get off
rip
the
it off.
line. Guys,
Just
I have to
have
get
yeah,
off the line. I gotta go. And he just puts on the
and he's
Spider
got to
Man
have
mask.
the thing already, the mask up here, starting to pull it down. Yes.
Yeah. I'm like, see, I knew the whole time. I knew your Matt was damn
We
Spider
knew
Man.
it.
I
We
knew it.
knew it.
I knew it. Right
Yes.
here, guys. In Vulcan community, we had Spider Man. You guys even know it.
Yes. You heard it here first. Your map is Tom Holland, aka Spider-Man. And
I'm
I'm gonna
telling you.
have him on. I don't know when, but we're talking in the background. All right, so my son wants to take me out for Mother's Day tonight for dinner. So let's remind everyone of your projects and anything you'd like to share with the viewers about what's coming up for you. Go.
All right. So go through this shameless plug real quick. So guys,
Shameless.
as you know, yeah, shameless. I'm shameless plugger. I don't care if it's Brian Legends, Seifu AMAs, no matter. I will plug my YouTube nowhere, no matter where I go. That actually happened one time, by the way. It was a Seifu AMA going on while I was doing a live, and people was
Oh
like, "Hey,
yeah, I
you,
heard it.
yeah, you need to go in there, and you need to go in
Yeah,
there and plug." I'm
and
like,
you did
"Oh,
it.
nothing. Let's go." And we were in there. So no, guys, like you guys should already know, like every day, Monday through Friday, 3 p.m. Eastern, your boy Fowler's on doing Fowler's Crypto Talk. Pretty much I'm gonna be doing that until I just can't do it. Like until things have to change. But until
Yeah.
then, I'm gonna be Monday through Friday, 3 p.m. Eastern. Beyond that, guys, you do know I own two projects right now. I have the Vulcan project and I also have the Guys Gaming project. The Guys Game is a little bit more established than the Vulcaneers. The Vulcaneers thing is being more of it's kind of like in the darkness, done in the darkness, but will come to light. It's just, it won't be as, Guys Gaming was pretty much I put out there and everybody came in. Whereas Vulcanaire, I built it with people in there and then I eventually brought it out, for people to kind of see if they want to be part of it, they can. And if they become part of it, they will see the growth of where it goes. And the same thing with Guys Gaming, just it's more or less I'm doing things, I'm testing things with my Vulcanaire crew. I would just say my crew, my fam, my community, and those things bleed out into Guys and Gaming. So they kind of work
Right.
hand in hand. And if you understand where Vulcan Airs is going, you'll understand how it'll be part of Guys and Gaming and everything else that's on the Vulcan blockchain. So, but yeah, that's pretty much it for right now. All I can say is join those two discords, the Guys of Gaming and the Vulcan Air Discord. You don't want to miss out on any of the updates and announcements that I put out on there. I don't put announcements every single day, and nor do
Mm-hmm.
I, put things out there for just to, do feelers with. When I put stuff out, it's meaningful and it's usually for everybody to see and it's to be set in stone. There's no, oh, I might go back and do this. No. What I put out there, this is part of God's Gaming or it's part of Vulcan Air. And like I said, everybody who knows me, when I say I'm gonna do something, I'm gonna do it. So that's one thing you have to worry about your boy Fowler. If he says he's gonna do something, it's gonna happen.
Good stuff. Well, I mean, you definitely said a mouthful. You are a very busy man at 6'2". If anyone didn't hear that in the beginning, he's tall, guys.
I don't even know
I
if that's
always,
tall.
well, listen, I always want to know because I don't really care about crypto like that, to be honest. I know it sounds weird, all the stuff that I hear being on the different lives and stuff. Like, I just zone out when people start talking about crypto. And I'm like, I wonder how tall he is. I wonder, like, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, is that a 3D background? Like, just rando stuff. And then I start asking Dano, and he's like, I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. So one day we were talking, and it was like, I think Kryptonian was online, and maybe Chris Cruz and stuff, and those guys. And then I was like, yeah, I should interview him. And then he was like, yeah, you should interview all those guys. They'd be fun, because he's the biggest hype man. So then he got all wild and excited. And then he's like, go on with them. And I'm like, I don't want to go on with them right now. Just a few minutes. And that turned into like, I don't know, an hour. And then my phone started acting weird. And then that's how this whole thing came about. So I finally get to ask you guys my nosy body questions, but I'm not really that nosy. I just have like weird questions, like how tall are you?
Mhm.
But yeah, thanks
Yeah,
so much,
6'2". I
Fowler.
wish I would have been 6'5", man.
Well, listen, I think you're
Oh,
okay at 6'2". 6'5" gets awkward. I got a
yeah,
6'5" friend.
I can
Trust
imagine.
me, gets awkward. Imagine walking with me and it, like it's just what the heck are we
Yeah,
doing
you
here?
got this tree walking next to you.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
trust me, I
Even with
know.
heels, it just wasn't really help. He's over a foot taller than me. Like, who do you know like that? We used to hang out hard body like years ago.
Mhm.
So, it's crazy. Even like with his kids, trying to hold their hands, like he's got to be like
Yeah,
monkeying around. Like
yeah.
6'2", you're
Bad for you.
crazy.
It's bad for your back.
Yeah. Imagine dancing with a girl. I was looking at him and I'm like, what is going on? He's like, well, if I want to like get in there, I got to spread my legs across the floor. I didn't
Yeah,
know why he was dancing like that, but I didn't think of like, the height. Like if she
yeah,
wants to
man.
back
I
it
make
up,
a difference.
she'd be backing it up into his knees. So
Right.
yeah, you're
That's what
good
I'm
at six
saying,
two.
man.
You're good.
That's what I say. I'm glad I'm a 6'2". I'm not too short, not too
Yeah.
tall.
No, no, no. But you're still on the tall side. Most guys are not over 6 foot, so you're good. All right, so then I'm gonna be waiting for you to eat your Cheetos, the hot Cheetos on the air. I'm looking forward to that. That'll be
Oh yeah, I totally
exciting.
forgot about that. I
I
gotta
did
get a
not.
hot. I gotta get a hot chip. I got damn. People actually heard that. Damn.
Yeah, 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 yeah.
So it's on
I heard it.
video.
You
Damn.
know why I remember?
Huh?
Because this is another weird thing I was thinking about. I'm not gonna ask you this because I already know. I was like, he has hair like my younger son, and Danny's like, no, he doesn't. And I'm like, no, his hair is the same. He just doesn't have. It's not wet or whatever, like the curliness. And then when you said if you eat the hot chip, you're gonna be
Yeah, I
sweating. Your
believe
hair's
so.
gonna
That's why
curl.
it looks poofy. But
Yeah. No, I know about hair. I'm a girl, so I'm a black
yeah.
girl, so I know about it. But I was like, yeah,
Oh
his
yeah.
hair is like my younger son.
It's gonna look bad.
No, it'll probably look
It's gonna
nice. I
look
mean, you're
bad
gonna
if
look
I
crazy.
start sweating on camera.
Your hair will look nice, but your face will look
Yeah,
crazy.
crazy. You ate this hot chip, and then
Nice. All
no,
right.
I'm gonna look like it's gonna look like Coming to America with the soul glow.
Oh no, not the Jerry
That's what it looks
curl.
like.
You're gonna get
Yeah,
a
that's what
little
it's gonna look
ethnic
like. It's gonna get
Superman curl.
curly.
That's all. Yeah, but it's fine. I think it looks nice. I like curly hair.
Yeah,
I like all different textures. But yeah. So I'm gonna go head out to dinner with the youngin because that's very nice of him. And thanks for
you
being
gotta
so
enjoy it.
open and candid. And then I'll see you in the comments on whoever's live. All right. And
Hey,
yeah, good
anytime
luck
you
with the
need me,
project
just
and
ask
everything.
me whatever. Yeah,
Yeah. All
thank
right,
you. I
guys. We'll
appreciate
see
that.
you.